Felicitations, my family of fledglings. Whoa! Toady! Look at you.
I'm right as the mail.
The quickest on the draw. Thanks, Toady. Well. First champion indeed, right out of the gates. Hi. Welcome. Felicitations, my family of fledglings and ghosts. It's so good to see you, and especially Toady, who's the fastest of you all. I don't even have muscles to stretch yet. I'm just kidding. Of course I do. Tonight is a discourse night. We will be discussing what country would you flee to and restart your life if things went south where you currently live. What's your backup plan? It's not being motivated by anything at all. Tonight's broadcast will also be rather dark because my ring light literally broke. Yeah. So I'm going to be scouting new ring lights. I'm going to put one up on Throne. And I'll message everybody in Discord about the new Throne goal and maybe make a stream goal for it. This was very sudden and last minute. It just is completely on the fritz. It just won't stay on at all. It will only turn on for half a second and then it goes dark. I can't get it to power at all. I tried different types of plugs to plug it into. There's something in the electrics, in the wiring, and I think it's just, yeah. I don't know how to rewire things when they break. So I hear Norway is nice. Interesting. We can look into that. I do have some friends in waiting who want to play at least a little bit of Marvel Rivals with me, at least a match or two. So we're going to pop over and do that. And then we're going to focus on the discourse topic, including, you know, I decided to pick on Wednesdays maybe more chat-friendly games that I can kind of start and stop on a whim. So we're going to be moving away from Rivals, especially on Wednesday. And I also want to introduce you all to Envy, because that was a goal of mine, I think, last Wednesday. And we got so poppin' in our chats, it just didn't happen. So it's probably going to have to happen tonight. All right, let's go say hi to the folks lying in wait. Hello.
Have you ever wanted to see what it looks like when someone gets kicked in the face by a horse?
Yes.
Third movie, I think?
That's Toadie's way of saying hi to everybody.
Oh, am I out of group with everybody? I am.
Yes, you are.
I am not. I need an invite.
My goodness, she is losing her shit over this hair tie.
Have you never hair tied your cat?
No, she's not playing with a hair tie. Hey. She's playing with, you know, the scribble scrubbles, the little animals that you draw on and then you scrub them clean. Chaotic!
Hi.
She has the brush.
Where's Derpy?
That's what she's playing with.
Don't you know it's bedtime?
Teresa, I want to show you something.
It
Look
looks
at
like a
this bush
tiny
around someone's foot.
cat toothbrush.
Come on, Derpy. It's bedtime.
We ready to start, D?
We're ready here.
Thank you for the raid, Chaotic.
For our one game that we're gonna do.
And I'm sitting here
You
right
might
now.
convince me to do two.
Well, I think it's more on what D wants to do at this point.
This is true.
We can do two.
I can do two as well. I didn't want to stay up super late tonight anyway, so that works for me.
So what's the plan after this, D? We're just chatting, right?
Yeah. Our discourse topic of the night is, what's your backup country if anything or everything went super wrong in your current country?
I'm kind of leaning more and more towards Denmark.
Denmark. Interesting.
Denmark would be a good one.
The fuck, cat? She just knocked the cat tree the fuck over.
Canada would be a simple one, I guess.
Well, Canada's going through some shit right now.
That's true, but it's still better than here.
There's lots of places that are going through some shit. I would just go to Ireland or Japan just because I want to go there.
Yeah.
I feel like Denmark is really nicely central to a lot of stuff that I also want to see. That it's not that much of a pain in the ass to travel to a lot of that other stuff, and it's also a country that's in pretty good standing right now.
The only problem with me wanting to go to Australia is they have a lot of weird censorship laws
Oh yeah.
against video games. I think like decapitation is like something you can't do at all, which makes sense, I guess, for violence. But like if you're an adult,
Haiti, I love your face and will lurk. My body is shit and needs rest. Please rest. Thank you for the lurk support. But I need all...
Thank you for the lurk, Chaotic, and thank you for the raid. I'm sorry your body is shitty.
Yes, we need all the chaotic working properly for reasons.
You need your body to be ready.
Whoa, I went down to 3 health. Run! That's not better.
There's a Scarlet Witch up above.
and by above you mean straight on the point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Died trying to heal you. I was like, maybe if I can just give Crims a little bit more health before I die. Well, clearly that witch needs to die.
Clearly.
Well, she has 4 kills.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Okay.
I really want them to do like Bobby Drake Iceman and have him like have a ice sled move thing where he can make new terrain in the world.
That could be really fun
Yeah.
for a game like this.
You know what I mean by the ice sled thing, right? It's kind of, I don't know how to describe the thing
I
he
know what
does.
you mean.
Yeah. In a rare plot twist, I actually do know what you're talking about right now.
You may end up learning more since Oz has the movies now.
Yeah, with what time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've solved the easier of the logistics as to why we don't watch movies.
Yeah, that's true. It's the easier one, but it's still very much that's a pain. I don't want to do that part.
Just subscribed.
Toady. Basura. We have a stream baby. We're gonna have to come up with names. Thank you so much for 9 months of fun.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be not a good round.
No, this is gonna be a flat out shutout.
Yeah. Like both rounds. 2 rounds of shit. I feel like.
Yep.
'Cause that was a hard lockout.
Yeah. We're also anti-meta.
Yeah, I'll leave tank so we don't have to worry about it.
Thank you. I really hate when Stuart plays tank.
I do too. I just hate when Stuart plays.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Like my heart can't take it. Why are you playing?
You actually posted it on social media right after and tagged like everyone, remember? And Silver Surfer doesn't have a
So yes, if anybody knows any good lighting solutions that they really advocate for, I'm in need of a new light source.
Oh, what happened?
The ring light died.
No, really?
Oh yeah, I'm not in the dark for funsies this time. Sometimes for funsies.
I have a ring light,
What
but I don't know how I
happened?
would get to you.
That ring light is not that old. It's only like a couple years old.
I mean, it's probably 3 or 4 years old now. I'm gonna ult the point, so if you can get to the point safely, you've got a safe haven coming up real soon. Must it be clobbering time though?
The dance still lasts way too long. For a ult that makes you more like invincible that can move.
It doesn't make you invincible. It can still be one shot by one shot ults.
True, but that's also Sue Storm's one, and that one doesn't move and last half of as long. It looks like.
I forget who is the one that can lay down the thick fog.
It's just a world thing.
It's a board. It's a level thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was always so annoyed by that. I was like, oh, I hate when the enemy team does this.
It's a Punisher who can do like a quick instance of it, like a ball of it, but that's it.
I'm gonna go take a nap before I decimate my sleep schedule. Thank you for being here, Toady. Appreciate your face. I cannot keep you alive with this team.
Yeah.
I'll put this to good use. Future progress has passed the halfway point.
Ah. I hopped in a portal, tried to go back home. It didn't work. Didn't stick.
I like distracting the enemy team by making them run around chasing after me going, they're on our side of things, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, it seemed to work.
Because I distracted their Black Panther.
Nice.
I killed it to them earlier.
That's another thing.
Thank you.
Palm Riders the mail.
You're still awake.
Oh God, here comes the freaking.
Ow. Ow. Dead. Damn. Gavin. As I live and breathe. Gaming while gaining? Yeah. You know it. We're back to the walking streams again. I gave it a break on Sunday because I did so much yard work. I was like, that's enough of a workout for today. I don't think I can walk and stream. I've escaped the hospital. So, how did it go?
Control lost. There's more of them than us.
Is it the mental hospital or the?
We
I didn't
don't kiss and
detail
tell
how
on
that-
this stream. Unless they want to kiss and tell.
I mean, we could kiss if you want.
Was it a pain in the butt?
A little help, please. We'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Nothing I
Nice,
could-
nice.
No worries. I got your back.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Ooh.
More help is never bad.
I believe in us.
I believe in a thing called love.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Uh-oh.
Is it? Do you have a rhythmatic heart? Something or other?
Ow. Damn.
Keep fighting until we have a
Go start.
double KO. This was inevitable.
Things are looking good for me. Excellent. Amazing news. I'm so happy for you, Gav.
It's clear I'm still needed here.
No. At least it wasn't like a total shutout this time.
Yeah.
We knew we were outclassed, but we did better.
Better.
Yeah.
So are we doing a second, or are we? Is that gonna be it?
It's up to us.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
It's 1:30. I really should call it.
Sounds good.
Why are you Why are you calling my phone?
Dork.
Why are you calling me it?
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your presence. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me.
If you're welcome.
I'm gonna go Smash, I think, and watch D.
I don't need to know about your Smash times.
Yeah, none of us do.
You can keep that private.
Okay. I'll be Pikachu.
Well,
Well, I mean, you were earlier, but now there's a blanket over that.
yikes.
We were having a full-blown conversation of what constituted naked. And I was like, I guess, because Stuart was like, oh yeah, I'm naked right now. And then Teresa's like, well, he's wearing a robe. I'm like, that doesn't make you naked.
No.
And they're like, well, it depends on like what's hanging out. I'm like, is there nipples and, wang? And he's like, they're like, well, no nipples, but there's definitely wang. And I said, then you're definitely covered. You're fine. He's like, I'm going to go to the store like this.
Yes. Go to the convenience store because you are the height of convenience.
Wow.
Easy. I wish I could do a good Donald Duck impression.
Wow.
You Donald ducking it?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's fucking great.
You sound like the Mandarin Donald Duck anyway.
It hurts to do.
But no, it's really not far off the Mandarin Donald Duck. It's really awful. They are absolutely not understandable whatsoever.
Yeah, for somebody who speaks the language, I swear I can listen to him, I can read the subtitles, and I still have literally no idea what wild sounds are coming out of that voice actor's mouth.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thank you, you too.
You as well.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm bouncing out of Discord too. Have a good night.
Yep, have a good night, everybody.
All right. Welcome. As I said before, welcome. We are in the dark tonight because right at the last minute, one of the last things I do is turn on the ring light because it takes its toll over the course of a night having a bright white light shining into your eyes at a time where most people are asleep. And so I got the entire stream set up and ready, and then went to go turn on that ring light, and it is just is not receiving power. So I presume actually the light is fine. The switch that turns on the light is fine, but something in either it's a USB plug-in, either the USB itself or the cable coming out of it is wonky. So what I sat and did is the only thing I know how to do when electronics go bad. And I wiggled it. I wiggled the USB in the USB slot thinking if...
Can you stop kissing everything?
Thank you, Oz. Welcome, Raiders, to a place you don't deserve to be sent to, but here you are. When Oz goes to sleep, you go down one further level in Dante's Inferno, and here we are in the dark red and purple depths of the punished and castigated.
You are my dad. You're my dad. Woogie, woogie, woogie.
Did you see my message at the beginning of your stream about my streak? I did not. Did I miss it? Where was that? I don't see a message from you. Obviously, this is the first time my bot saw a message from you. Otherwise, it would have reacted. I didn't see a message from you. Was it in Twitch? I'm looking at Twitch chat. I do not see. Toady got first champion, so that wasn't you. Yeah, didn't send. Or I didn't get it. 100% the first chat? Oh, it's an alert that doesn't come through in StreamerBot's chat. So that's a problem I'll have to try to fix at some point. 60 stream watch streak. I'm curious what Stewart's is. I think he might be one of your main competitors right now. It's between him and Semtodic, who's like a master lurker. So I don't know if he still maintains a streak or not. Yeah. Thank you for the lurk. So here we are in the darkness. I will do some research. If you all have a fan favorite lighting. What? All right, no, that's never mind. I picked up the switch and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna press it to press it. I don't know. Do you ever just press a button knowing something doesn't work, but you like want to verify it? There's no light that shows that you can press it. Normally, if this thing is plugged in, it shows you where the on button is. It has a light, so you know which button that one is. And it wasn't lit up. So I was like, I know if I click this button, the light's not going to turn on. And then the light turned on, if only for a second, and then decided it would die again. So my hopes were dashed, lit, and dashed again. So I'll be looking for a new ring light, post haste, hopefully before the next couple streams. It sounds like a cord issue. I think it has to be. I don't think the USB port on something like that, it's not one of those things you unplug and plug in a lot. So it doesn't get much wear and tear on the USB side of things. I think it's the cord somewhere. So I did the wiggle test. I wiggled the cable in all sorts of different orientations. I tried to like give it stress, give it flex, give it everything a cord should want. It's even one of those braided cords that looks like it would last for decades. But the braiding did nothing. And it's not a cable that's taken a lot of stress. If I traveled everywhere with this ring light and I wrapped the cable and unwrapped it every day and put a lot of stress on that cable, I'd be like, okay, you know, that's on me. We've gone through a lot of miles together, you and me, Mr. Ring Light. But no, it's not the case. The case is, it just died, and it just died between streams for no reason, for no obvious reason that I could see. I don't want to play what's playing right now. What are you? What is it trying to play? Oh, I know it's trying to play. So hi and welcome. As we were saying at the beginning of the stream, tonight's discourse topic is, what would you do if your country fell apart? Or at least did not meet your standards anymore and it was time to leave. Which ring light is that? What brand? This is Razer. It's a Razer ring light. As far as which type of Razer ring light, if there are multiples, I don't know. It looks like it's about a foot in diameter. And that's about all I know. Okay, so yes, I've thought about this a little bit myself. In fact, I have family who's even more invested in politics and ideology, and especially in presidential situations than myself. And I've watched a lot of people fling a lot of ideas around. The ones that sounded most interesting to me out of their idea. What's interesting to me is a lot of Americans don't realize this, but the idea of going to Mexico for many Americans seems like a step backwards because they see people who look like they might be from Mexico coming into the United States and working our worst jobs in the US. And they say, well, looks like the standard of living is really bad in Mexico. Otherwise, why would these people be here? There are a lot of reasons why somebody can be in a country. But the bigger issue with that is there are a lot of countries that I think Americans believe the people who are coming here come from, that their belief is that they are Mexican. And it's not the case. So you could be fleeing from a much worse government and structure than what exists in Mexico. And your average American bigot, racist, or somebody who's just ignorant might just consider you're probably Mexican. Otherwise, how could you be here? But Mexico is actually one of the top expatriate locations for Americans, especially American veterans who have done their service and are looking to stretch their retirement money, looking for a better quality of life than what the American VA can provide. And so there are whole enclaves of American troops retired that make the remainder of their life out in the country just south of us. That's probably not top of my list. I think if I were to choose a place that I would like to go, not thinking so much in terms of retirement, just in terms of kids that we're still raising and opportunities for them. And I'm being visited. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. As it turns out, Oz is loaning me the remainder of the night, the use of her ring light, because she's not streaming right now. So, hey, why not? Thank you, Oz. Right where this one was plugged in, probably. It's in a slot right here in the bottom of this monitor. There's two side by side. Let's pull up some tunes, shall we? It feels very quiet of soundscape. You're just intimately here with me, which is, you know, not a problem, but... Let's do this. Sure. The lighting comes from a different angle right now because it's sitting on my desk, but we can at least see each other now. Thank you.
I see you have the AC.
I do. It is achingly warm in here while I'm doing this. Like, I am sweating.
I don't know why you're wearing
Thank you, Oz. I need to do laundry. So, I wanted to also take tonight to introduce those of you who are here with me this evening for the first time to the Envy Notion, which right now is just called my name, I guess. Shall we pop in and see what the heck we're building through the Discord community, the greater community at large? What's going on here? How do I? Let's go full screen, shall we? We don't need this on top, per se. That was not the right thing for the scene at hand. Let's see. Center capture display. Move some things on top. Move some things on bottom. Get that nice and clean look. Excellent. Hello, Troa. Hi, and welcome. Yes, we are at it. We are at Envy, the Envy times. So, what I've made so far is basically nothing. We're going to be starting this from scratch. This is going to be the official knowledge base of the community. So that's me, that's you, and everyone in between. Newcomers is fine. Old timers, fine. We're all going to be here together. So I made very little on here so far. But some place that I would like to start is an article that has our discourse deep dive topics, or at least something that commemorates anything that we learn along the way, and especially any evidence of the fact. So if anyone needs to use this resource as a place to be a source of truth for an argument they have with somebody, or a statement of a decision or choice that they have in their own lives, then they'll have this second brain to their brain accessible. So that also includes, this would be a good place for us to stage things like videos to react to and give our understanding and deep dive into the fact checking of those videos. I know we have a very avid recipe and food sharing Discord channel, but I feel like a lot of that gets lost in backlogs. So bringing that stuff on over too, so we have a record of anytime a recipe gets shared, maybe even have reviews of people who have tried it themselves. Yeah, lots of good stuff potential here. Now, this getting started place is probably one of the last things we need. I don't necessarily want to get rid of everything here. Well, probably I don't need to have this stuff. I've used Notion before, so I don't feel like I need the basics. I can probably get rid of all of this. So what I might do now is start my first section just for discourse. So what would we call this? If we call this discourses, it implies that every time I have one of these Wednesday streams, we're going to come together and we're going to commemorate this on the Notion. And if Envy has a record of every discourse, I think it'll be, the good stuff will be lost in the weeds. There'll be too many little things that we talk about along the way. Some discourses will be more impactful than others. The unimpactful ones will gunk up the mix. So maybe needs to be something broader, more than just discourse topics, but basically like any time we stumble upon a deep dive where we connect and we pull up some deeper information, we've got a study to go through, we've made some truths known, or we have at least explored both sides pretty thoroughly, and we don't need to rehash that territory again later on. Or maybe it would help us to rehash it if we did need to, thinking about it. So discourse might not be the best term. Well, I'll leave it discourses for now. If I sit here hem and haw about what the titles are going to be just based on trying to micromanage the English so that it makes more sense, then we won't get as much stuff out. So maybe we'll have one page here within the page, and we would call this one, what would we call this one? Countries to flee, expatriate destinations. That's kind of what we're discussing here tonight. Now, interesting, on the left-hand side, discourses got placed underneath another separate page called streaming tools. I didn't mean to place it there in hierarchy, but I can move it out. I don't wish to manual sort. I just want to get this out from underneath. Can we do a move action? Move to just my private pages. There, now it's not like in streaming tools. And then in expatriate destinations, we could do stuff like add a travel icon, and we can even add a cover page or cover picture. We're not going to go that fancy, not just yet. So somebody mentioned Norway. We could do a heading that talks about Norway. What's so interesting about Norway? Somebody mentioned Denmark. I'm gonna put these in alphabetical order. The Teddy and I are both dual citizen in Canada, so we're pretty much already set to go. During my current job hunt, I've been asking if the companies also employ people across the border. Nice. That's probably a really smart future-proofing on your part as far as what your next steps could be. Don't want to lock yourself into something that would limit your options. Especially, yeah, in this era of history between our two countries. It's good to know. It's good to be able to play both sides. Import your content directly. Get all your content into Notion with a click. I don't need to do an import right now. So there's another option we could talk about. Another Canada. So I think one thing that I've seen in a number of social media posts about people who are disenfranchised with their country, and it seems like a lot of them recently have been sort of talking about the US and why they would start looking to other places, really has to do with, well, hello, Rush. I actually have some snacks. Oz spoiled me. It got me a lot of carbs. And I'm trying not to go too carb heavy, so I'm taking my time. So I will gladly share the lion's share of these with you. I have buffalo spiced Cheetos, and I also have spicy nacho Doritos. So you're welcome to what you would like. How are you? The question of the night is, if you needed to flee your country for better, greener pastures, what country do you think you'd really like to go to? Cheetos down. Give me a second, I'll get this over to you. I'm making some rustling sounds here because I gotta do this for Rush. That's a tiny one. Rush gets a big one. Okay, we're back. Can I reach this while I'm on the treadmill? Here you go. This is just for Rush. Nobody else take a lick or a bite. That's for him. You deserve this. Snack God. Good job. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Also, hello, Jam. Good to have you here. Japan? Thailand? I've never been to Thailand. I think it would be fun. And I'm already sold on the food. Not that you need to live in Thailand to eat Thai food, as is evident of us here. We have a favorite Thai restaurant nearby. I would go either Japan or I have a couple reservations about Japan. One is, I think historically, and I hope it's changing with the younger generations. I just haven't been there in a long time. I haven't been there. But I do feel like there's definitely a lot of looking at each other and deciding things about other people based on their race. And I feel like while the US also has this problem too, and a number of other countries also have this problem, people don't think about Japan in terms of this. And so it's something that ought to be said. So it's out in the open. And I'm going to add Japan to the list, because if I'm going to make a claim, we might as well do some research into it and look and take a peek and see how is racism ? That's probably a good way to sort of word it in the structure of the context of an article. Is I'm not going to make a claim based on the last time I'd been to a place and things might have changed in the last 10, 20 years or whatever, and say, I have this idea that based on what I interacted with my own sociological brain, people I met and the folks I talked to, I believe that this country has a problem with racism, right? But I also don't want to let that go and say, well, I'm just one person, so probably the country is fine and they really treat everybody quite nicely, and there isn't any historical weirdness around Chinese and Korean people or the way American tourists can kind of be and sours the experience with America. I'm not going to say any of that, not either direction. I'm not going to defend the country, and I'm not going to castigate the country when I don't know. So having a question open, how is racism, lets us sort of do an exploration and see what people think in recent articles, studies, and personal anecdotes and whatnot. Probably not rely too heavily on the personal anecdotes part, because I also feel like with racism, it's one of those things that you can feel when the people around you didn't necessarily want to do what you felt, right? Sometimes people will announce or decree a certain amount of personal outrage over how they've been treated, but it's really a them thing. It's the way that they were treated, the way that they felt like they deserved to be treated versus the expectation of how they were actually treated that caused the outrage, and not necessarily a direct attack or an epidemic of a certain bad viewpoint among other people. It could just be your expectations were dashed, right? A trick with the move to Canada, if you have a parent or grandparent that was born in Canada, you can use the Canadian Citizenship Act of 1947 to claim natural-born Canadian citizenship via application, and you'll get it. That's kind of handy. That's worth mentioning in Canada as a bullet point. That was UB, not BU. My bad. Canadian Canadian Citizenship Act. Let's get the details right. Wow, I can't do my numpad very well tonight. It's hard to do when you're on a treadmill, too. Canadian Citizenship Act, 1947. Parent or grandparent citizenship transfers to or transfers via application, something like that. Yeah, that's really good to note. Can we make this bold? I think it'll just do a little bit better on the readability thing. Nice. Japan or Finland for me. What makes you think Finnish people are so cool? I mean, besides myself. I could see that. Japan, because I already look Japanese-ish, so it wouldn't be a problem to adapt. Finland, because I have a dear friend there. But I'm here in the US, Rush. I'm just kidding. Among other lewd reasons, but that's aside the point. Finland is very, very poppin', but it's also quite expensive. And that's something we can talk about too, is the expense of living in a different country. I'll put it up there as an option we took a look at. Can't believe Troa is my lost grandfather. Oh yeah, Rush, I guess you're going to Canada too on your brand new unlocked citizenship. I am older than dirt. I don't think we have any stream grandparents, so... Although, also, is expatriate not the right term? No, I think it... Oh, is it expatriate? No, that's the verb. Why is it red underlined? I could have sworn that was a term for actual people who leave the country. Let me take a look. Term for people who leave their home country. An emigrant? I guess you wouldn't use the term expatriate. Expat? Oh, there we go. That's somebody who... An expatriate. Oh, wait. Maybe it is a noun. Expatriate is a person who resides outside of their country of citizenship. My bad. We'll change that. I've heard it in common conversation, but I didn't know. I always thought that was the verb form, and the noun form would be patriot, like patriot. It makes more sense linguistically the way I write it, but I don't make the rules for English. Currently, plan is to help friend out of Venezuela to move here in Mexico. I don't mind staying here in Mexico for a couple more years. Well, that's very awesome. Yeah, I've heard a few of the issues going on in the Venezuelan government, and I don't blame your friend. Sleep ain't happening. You're still here. Oh no, Toady. How can we help Toady get some sleep? Yeah. So yeah, this is officially the Envy Notion. Can we call it that? Do I have, I guess there's the name. It just says My Notion. But is there a way to call it something different, to give it a different name? Or is this just the name that we have for it? Maybe the name doesn't really matter. It'd just be nice to see like Envy on the list. Settings? Maybe we can call it something else. What's my account? Preferences. General? We can. We can. Envy. Perf. Perf. We can give it an icon. What's a good envious icon? What's the icon that we use in whatchamacallit? In the roles channel in Discord. I think that one's pretty new. We use the gem icon. Can we do that? Oh, we can pick an emoji. Perfect. Perfect. There's the gem that we use in Discord to designate this particular channel there. So for those of you that aren't role accepted into Envy, what my interest in doing this channel for Envy and then also having the Notion here, the reason being is I looked into how to make this a collaborative environment, and I thought if I open this to my general community, this could get really messy, right? Now we're almost spending like a full-time job's worth of somebody's free time, maybe mine, maybe a mod, maybe somebody, who's going to go through and give people different permissions and make changes to edits. If somebody did something malicious, you go back to just a previous version, block out certain people if they're bad actors, make sure nothing racist or hateful gets put on the Notion. It's a lot. And then somebody who knows my stream schedule might go, oh, it's right before Wednesday. What if he pops up Envy? I'm going to sneak an article in there hoping that a mod doesn't catch it. And then something comes up on the stream. And then, you know, bad things happen to my stream. So I don't want this open to everybody. So then my thought is, well, I will just open this up to a few key leaders in the community. If you've been a patron of the various Discord servers, the text servers that we have, or channels, I should say, especially the 7 Deadly Sins. You probably know there's like 1 or 2 outstanding people in each one of those channels that I would call a champion of that channel. You might see them as sort of like the sovereign, the royalty, the aristocrat of that particular subspace of the community. And I thought, well, I'll just give each leader in the 7 Deadly Sins access to this channel and we'll all collaborate together. That was a thought. I DM'd a link to the Canadian website with the actual application for anyone who wants to move forward with claiming theirs. A mirror or a diamond? Yeah, I figure a diamond is a good option to go with there. Thank you. It's always good to have actual links to official stuff. Well, well, well. If it ain't Dr. Blaisdell. Hello and welcome. What's the goal with this exercise? Trying to come up with the best answer. I'm never opposed to that. I will never say that if we do a discourse topic that we come together as a community and come up with like what we all think is a really grand option, that should be off the table because that's not fair to everybody else and that's a bad idea. I think coming up with the best answer is okay. I won't gatekeep us. If we all as a community came together tonight and we came up with an answer and this was like, okay, we've ranked everything, all of us agree it's Finland or whatever, it's Canada, you know, and we all just say yeah, you know, based on, we put together a lot of evidence, we gather all this stuff up together and we agree as a community. I will not actually moderate the channel and say, you guys, if we all say Canada, how's, I don't know, random country to think of, where do people love to say that they like to run off to? How's Germany going to feel about this? How are Germans who are excited to have people come into their country and start a new way of life there, how are they going to feel seeing that D and his community have said Canada's the place? That's not fair, you guys. We should give everybody a good pros and cons list, and there should be good pros. Let's not stop until every country has pros. That's, to me, that is weirder and a worse situation for a community than just letting a best answer percolate. With the caveat that anybody who's watching these streams, if you see us come together, even tonight, if at the end of the night we say, yes, we have determined there's a best place to leave, to flee to, don't use me as a source of truth. The reason why we're coming together to talk about these sort of things is not to decide a universal truth for the rest of this planet, right? Imagine if we did ice cream flavors and we determined that chocolate chip cookie dough is the best ice cream, just objectively. There's no subjective to it. And somebody doesn't like chocolate. Somebody's allergic. Somebody's lactose intolerant, or for whatever, myriad reasons why they can't do it. We can't make decisions as a community for everybody, but we can at least engage in the concept of coming together and critically thinking about things, weighing weighing research and ideas, coming up with good counterfactuals. If somebody makes a really strong claim about something, it's like, okay, that feels really irrefutable. Could we refute it? Moving the brain around a little bit, basically, is what I mean. That's what I would love to see. So, yeah, we can come up with the best answer. Doesn't have to be our goal. And if we do, I won't shut us out from that. I hear champion, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of want to see blood sports. Here's the thing. Each one of the 7 Deadly Sin channels in the Discord are not equally ranked. Some of them exist for support during hard times. Some of them are meant to be light and fluffy, and some are meant to be more driving and poignant. And you can't put those communities together in some sort of competitive arena. I can't see that happening. Is they each exist for a very different reason. And there are many of you in the Discord that I see subscribe to almost every single one. So you've created a much more complicated version of the Discord server than other people have. They might only have the 1 or 2 channels open to them, and you've got all 7 just full tap open. It's, yeah, very different situation. So I can't, then you'll have people pit against themselves, right? Who are across all of the different sub-communities. What are the constraints? Money has a big impact on this issue. Yeah, I do want to talk about the money side of things. I do like its best answer rather than correct answer. Yes, that too. Yeah, there are things where when we talk about certain topics, there's probably going to be a correct. I don't know if I'll ever set up a discourse night where the topic we choose is naturally going to be coming to a correct answer, right? If something is cut and dry, is there evidence of evolution? That would be kind of a weird discourse topic to discuss, because the answer's already been determined. And evolution isn't one of those things that's kind of well, it's still up for debate. There's still a couple concurrent competing theories that do a really, really good job of explaining everything. And evolution does not explain several things. So because it's lacking, we're auditioning these ideas. As far as evolution goes, we're not auditioning anything, right? So we would never come together and talk about the topic of that. However, what might be an interesting discourse in the future, and maybe we should talk about this in the discourse thing, page. Future discourses. Let's do this as like a to-do list. So instead of something like, let's talk about whether evolution exists or not, whether there's proof of evolution. There already is, right? We could ask the question like, how does evolution affect traditional societies? And even that, there's sort of like an answer to that, right? That'd be a really hard answer to come to because it's a very broad sociological question. But so maybe that's not quite right, is it? What else could we say that's in that same vein, but like more precise? Nobody's going to come for me. I bring the snacks. Yeah. You do also bring the snap. Oh, snacks. I thought that was a threat. I suppose it depends on food allergies. Troa would never inadvertently poison anybody. Or advertently. You would only inadvertently do it. That's what I meant to say. Evolution. How would it... What's a better way to say this? In maybe not just focused on evolution because it's kind of like a weird, very niche thing that doesn't affect a lot of people. Oh, we'll see you on the other side, folks who are about to be caught in Twitch ads. In anti-scientific communities, how does progress of science impact this is getting so wordy. I don't like the way it's worded here. How does progress of science impact anti-scientific communities? Right. That's a great one. So you hear something from the great geologists of the planet or climate scientists or somebody who does archaeology, and they make a great leap. Quantum physics learns something vastly important in the world. And you have a group of people that are locked in a certain traditional way of thought. And they say, no. Our universe doesn't work that way. My book here says it works in a different way. How are they going to move forward with the people who are making those scientific discoveries, who then often lend their discoveries to sort of creating a basis maybe for new inventions, new ways of life. We adopt new things. Just think of the way we interact with computers and how we're engaged in a broader sense in the world because we have electricity in our houses, because we have running water, because we have just a broader understanding of a number of things sociologically too, right? How do we deal with criminal activity now versus what we did 100 years ago? How do we deal with mental illness versus what we did 100 years ago? And then how do we get those people in the communities that reject those discoveries to interact with us, and what happens there, right? What's the impact? What do we see happening? Is it a regular trend? Is it different from community to community? This would be kind of an interesting discourse topic. Yeah. Nah, I'm sure if Troa were to poison anybody, they deserve it. Akumu! Why do I feel like it's been so long since I've had the pleasure of hearing your chilling wolf howls? How goes the wolf pack in your side of things? Also, I think Akumu might actually be stuck behind ads. Are you stuck behind ads right now, or can you hear the sound of my voice? Oh, Damien Head, have you tried the jam I sent? Troa, I tried the jam you sent. Just today, actually. Instagram has died. We now know that Instagram dies after 1 hour. and it is nothing I did wrong. I had to find out through somebody else, which is sort of like the most painful thing you can do, right? Imagine your best friend got a promotion at their job and you read about it through a social media post instead of, you know, getting a call or text to yourself and be like, dude, why was I the last to know? Why did I have to read about it on your feed instead of hearing about it directly from you? I feel like Instagram did that to me. Now that they're gone, now that that feed is gone. Like, you can't find the documentation anywhere at Instagram.com. You have to go to third-party sites that talk about Instagram news. Like, as of 2025, everybody who live streams on Instagram is now limited to 1 hour. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator, a business account, or a personal account. It's all 1 hour. It's like, okay, well, would have been nice if somebody told me directly, especially because I was opening like help ticket after help ticket going, yo, guys, tell me what's going on. I was streaming for 5 hours and now I'm streaming for 1. Yeah. Akumu, can you hear the sound of my voice now? Oh, you did have ads, but I waited till they passed to cue the chills. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Change of schedule kind of messed me up. I'm sorry. It might change again in August. I'm just going to warn you right now. Yeah. Things are going weird with my schedule, my life, my well-being, and I'm trying to make sure that I do things that are a little bit healthier for me. This change in schedule was Oz's recommendation after her seeing the impact of the last 6 months of 2024 on me. She's like, here's what I think needs to probably happen. You should highly consider what I'm about to say. And I did, because I feel like she was probably right. The jam is so good. It tastes like fall in a jellified form. It's got like nice spice, nice sweet, sort of like a earthier. Yeah. It's just a great autumnal flavor altogether. I'm really excited to have more of it. It was a project batch. Wait, did you make this like from scratch? They must have been very rude. Oh, for you to poison them? Yeah, probably. Interesting. Wonder why they limited that. So a lot of companies that provide live streaming lose money on the live streaming side of things. They need to try to make it up in form of advertising revenue, in terms of taking a cut off of people spending for subscriptions, donations, anything that goes through the main host of your stream. They're going to try to take some sort of a cut. They take a cut on your ad revenue. They take a cut on any money that comes your direction. And that sort of like makes up part of the difference. It still doesn't make up all of the difference for some companies. I feel like Twitch, for the longest time when they were doing encoding on their end, versus now they try to push encoding, especially for major streamers, onto the streamer to try to alleviate some of the computational costs of streaming. They probably still subsidize their streaming brand with some of their other brands, right? Amazon owns Twitch. They make a hell of a lot of money out of, you know, Amazon Prime and all the different fees that they do everywhere else. So they're probably able to say, this is a really big deal. We're a leader in this industry. It's very important. It is hemorrhaging a little bit of money, but we're able to make that up in other business ventures. And so we can sort of like soften the blow a little bit. I don't feel like Meta is like really on the top of its game, right? The user base, the younger user base pulled out hard. And if anybody was still in there and sort of in the younger side of things through 2024, I feel like the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025, a lot of the remaining younger user base pulled out of all things Meta. And so is it still there? Are there still people posting? Yeah, there are. Yeah, it's still alive. It's still around. I still stream there. But I just do that because it literally costs me the cost of a button to press that says go live, right? It's very low impact. And I'm trying to make sure that I reach out to people who are still, you know, stuck in other communities that they haven't moved on, or they're not maybe as savvy with technology, so they don't know why they would want to leave one company for another. They're not going to make choices politically. They barely know technology at all. So, you know, they're just around because they're around. That's the place that they know. That's the one place they have an account or something like that. But so I feel like Instagram streaming loses Meta enough money that they're like, we don't want to say no because this is still important for all of the big names, celebrities, companies that want to do live stream as part of their content branding. But we can't do unlimited streaming because that starts to really just chunk out of our budget. And we don't have a way to replenish that. Not quite the way like Amazon or Google does for Twitch and YouTube. Yeah. That's my theory as to why they limit it to 1 hour. I used to work for Instagram. Would it? Oh, really? May I ask what you did? Do you have any insight? Am I close? I don't know if you know anything near about my speculations, if they're true or not, or if I'm way off. With the plum, pear, and apricot from last year, I was trying to capture a feeling of autumn in them. I would say you definitely succeeded then. Because, yeah, it's just like, it's that same kind of sensation you get from like mulled wine for Christmas or watermelon for summer. It just places you in a certain seasonal mindset right out of the gate, which I love. Now, as for your discourse question, anywhere with free healthcare. Yeah, can we talk about that? Let's go. This would be maybe like a big topic. So this would be what? An H1 for countries. This one would be for perks. And I think one should definitely be a discussion of healthcare support. Absolutely. It is homemade. I love that. I can't wait for autumn. I can almost taste the cooling weather. I'm jealous, but I get to say the same thing when you're going into summer. So, yeah. At least right now, it feels modestly autumnal where I live. The end of winter, well, we're not even in the end. We're sort of still in the last month, but like the last third of winter or whatever in my state feels fall-esque. It's still crisp at night. It still feels sort of like you could layer clothes a little bit and be comfortable outside looking sharp instead of just bumming it in t-shirt and jeans or shorts or whatever. And you don't like sweat all the time. I'm sweating right now, but it's because I'm on a treadmill and talking at the same time and doing something new, and my ring light broke, and a lot of these things make me sweat just out of nerves. I hate having stuff break. Honestly, the ring light breaking was one of the things that bothered me the most about setting up in my stream, and it like harshed my whole vibe. All of a sudden I was like, do I even want to stream tonight? I still did, but something as little as that, that's where my mental health is in 2025. Are you walking on the treadmill while streaming? Akumu, this is part of the new 2025 me. It is true. This desk that I've streamed at for what now, 2 years? Before this, I used to stream in the dining room. For those of you that remember the dining room times, I used to be like stuck in this like tiny little corner, and the camera was like really close, and lighting was really bad. I don't know if anyone remembers those days, but yeah, when I moved here to this other room, I'm working at this like ancient like 1980s metal executive desk. It kind of feels like if you were a CEO, but in the 80s, like Wolves of Wall Street, American Psycho sort of type desk. It's like got sharp corners, and it's all like sliding metal drawers and stuff like that, and a fake wood top. It's weird, but I have this whole thing on a riser, so the actual desktop is quite high. It's probably more than a foot higher than it should be off the ground, sitting on risers. And then I have the treadmill tucked underneath where the footwell is for your legs. And then I can stand. Now, I usually hadn't been doing this on stream because I'd always thought, if we're gaming, even if we're chatting, it doesn't make sense for me to also be moving at the same time. It's going to be distracting for the audience. The head bob versus the like steady camera is going to be really awkward. People aren't going to like it. Maybe I'll be out of breath. I'm a little bit out of breath, but I think more of that is just because I'm talking fast. It's hard to get the chair on and off. The chair has to sit on a platform so it doesn't ruin the treadmill. And the chair's not tall enough for the desk. So it also needs to be risen just a little bit. So I have this box, a wooden box that I place over top of the treadmill, and the chair sits on that. It is a high chair. So it's got like a long post between the legs of the chair and the actual chair seat. And Nico has the same sort of chair. And I've been streaming sitting on that, on top of this treadmill, the secret treadmill I haven't told many of you about, but a few of you knew about it. And this year I was like, you know what? My physical health has been on decline for some of it slow, and then some of it in the last 6 months of 2024 fast. And I need to invest back into my physical health again because I am too young to call this the decline of my life. And I'm just going to keep going downhill from here until the grave. I have too many things I have left to do with the remainder of my life, and too much remainder of my life left, knock on wood. I can't just like give up now. And merely walking while streaming isn't going to change everything, but it's certainly going to be better than not, right? Let's catch up with chat. We get meandering conversation Damien now. It's true, you do. It's like action figure Damien, but with less plastic. I don't know. Is it good? Is it different? I do feel like my neurons activate in a different way while I'm walking than otherwise. But you tell me if it's a benefit or detriment with the walking part. Started last Wednesday, the Damien Head. I like that this is my new nickname. Damien Head is doing a physically active now whilst we banter. True. It's kind of funny because 2 weeks ago I got a Peloton bike. Ooh. Akumu and D in 2025, just busting boundaries. How do you like it so far? I worked on Instagram video. Okay. Rushi, oh, Akumu also has snacks for you. I donated snack, but Akumu and Troa are generally going to be a much better resource than me. I feel like Akumu's always got an emergency kit for Rush every stream. Oh, Rush, you're so wholesome. Twitch is making the cuts you described, but I doubt Instagram live video greater than an hour was enough data in a relative sense for anyone to care. Oh, interesting. They probably had an issue with fraud or something, and the easiest way to fix it was by killing long Instagram lives. Curious about that. Like, what could you do? What could you do in a 4-hour stream that could defraud people that once you're cut down to 1 hour, you suddenly couldn't do that? It like detoothed the scammer and the fraudster. Makes one wonder, what exactly was it? I think I have free healthcare. I'll need to check though. It's a good question. Might as well look. Might as well peek in and see what do your taxes actually pay for. I have snickerdoodles, sugar cookies, chocolate chunk cookies, and Chinese food. I'm gonna say that word in a way that's gonna be confusing to you, but I can't say it the American way anymore. Sichuan shrimp with fried rice. That is my favorite region for Chinese food, by the way. So if anybody wants like our personal details to drop food while I stream, I don't know. If I'm walking and eating heavy Chinese food at the same time, that might be a bad idea. Maybe in my off-stream nights. I could think of no better way to go than get me some Sichuan food. If it's going to be Chinese. I wouldn't say Chinese food is my number one end-all be-all food, but I also don't think there is an end-all be-all of food. This would make it hard for me for expatriate destinations, because I think one thing that I would need as a perk for a place that I would want to go is diversity, not just of people, but also of food, of cuisine. I can't eat one country's traditional food for the rest of my life. I would die. I gotta live somewhere where it's like, oh, you also have your neighbor's food. You also have distant people's food. You also have an enclave of an entire different ethnic group that live over here in this area, and I can go eat their food whenever I want. I'm spoiled. That's a deal breaker and maker for me, I think. Yeah. Chinese food sounds so good right now. I know. As soon as I read that, I started drooling. Like, no lie. Frosted donuts and chips and salsa. Troa, you're hooking us all up. Always have much snacks. Oz ate all the ginger snaps. How dare she? Oh, it wasn't Troa. It was Oz. I understand now. Oz snuck all the way to the PNW, ate all of your cookies, and didn't even say anything. I'm so sorry, Troa. It happens. That's how goblins are. You got to really watch if you bring a goblin into your life. And that's it. I'm breaking out the emergency old lady candy. Toady, you and Oz, what's your old lady favorite candy? So Oz eats, she eats a few different things. The ones that I think are easiest to get in grocery stores are Mike and Ike's, which are just little licorice, black licorice candies, but they're coated in like a candy shell, white and pink. It's basically black licorice. She'll eat those. She has spice drops. They're like gum drops, but they're all different spices. So like clove and mint and anise and a few other different spices there. Oh, cinnamon. She likes Werther's, the hard candy caramels, and Necco wafers. Those like really thin, chalky. They look like really big pills, but very flat. But you don't swallow them like a pill. You crunch on them, and they kind of taste like you're chewing on food safe chalk. Yeah. I have to be careful due to handmaid's knee. Is that a medical term for something? What is handmaid's knee? Help me understand that one. Looks like my Medicare things cover basically everything but optometry, dental. It's so interesting. A lot of countries do this, and I'm not quite sure what the differentiating factor is, like why eyes and teeth tend to be left out of that. But that's the way the US is too. If you work for a company, we don't have free healthcare, but if you work for a company and they give you healthcare, if you want any dental or vision coverage, those cost separate and extra. Why? Those are medically important too, right? No cosmetic surgery. Obviously, that makes sense to me. Hearing aids. That one's surprising to me too. We've had that historically for a long time, although I think there were changes in US policy around hearing aids recently, but I'd need to look to see exactly what those are. I haven't done research in hearing aids in a few years, so I don't know. And ambulances. That sucks. The fact that you'd have to pay out of pocket for emergency ambulance service would really suck. Okay, so the Instagram Live fraud theory. Let's hear it. It's just an example, but they will make decisions like there's a problem with fraud, like illegal gambling streams. Fraud is bigly overrepresented in long Instagram Live. Therefore, we can cut X% of fraud just by killing Instagram Lives greater than 1 hour, and it'll be a profit neutral or even positive decision. From a business standpoint, and I've interacted with a lot of business, I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense to me. Everything that even the way you typed it, I know people like in the company I work for in my day job that would say stuff like this, right? It's less about the implication, more just about like the bottom line, the Machiavellian, the ends justify the means sort of thing. Goblins be goblin. It's true. It's true. I love Werther's originals. My grandparents always had those. Very throwback. Much happy Troa. Toadie's old lady candy of choice is Werther's. And if I'm ever so lucky, this real nice raspberry sherbet hard candy thingo I can only get from one specific historical themed shop. Nice. We used to be able to find stuff like that. I guess we haven't done a lot of research in that direction, but they have like old chewing gums and hard candies and like basically like an old candy shop, but from like 100 years ago or something like that. You know, just like stuff you didn't imagine that those companies are still around, but somehow they're still out and about making candy. Yeah. Internet shut out. Oh, boo. I think my last question to you was, what's handmaid's knee? Handmaid's knee? Norway. Hello. I have an amazing booty. Thanks for telling us about the booty, first off. And second of all, why Norway? Why do you think? Can you give us some examples? I also liked the ones wrapped in a strawberry print wrapper. I know exactly which ones you're talking about. Those were pretty good. Don't they have some sort of like fluid on the inside? It was like a hard candy shell of strawberry. And then when the candy dissolved enough in your mouth, there was like a little liquid surprise, like strawberry drink inside of your candy. I've had a few hard candies like that. Those always were more interesting to me than literally just like hard pressed sugar with flavor, right? Rip my wallet. Yeah. If they have an online shop, that's it for you. Hopefully the delivery costs aren't too terrible. Because I'm from Norway? Oh, well, there you go. I used to have, when I was early in streaming, we had a regular Norwegian viewer. If you changed your name and it's you, welcome back. But it's probably demographically impossible that it would be the same person. Also, I'd hope this person would never change their name. But I looked for them the other day, honestly, like I think a year ago. I was like, oh, whatever happened to my favorite Norwegian viewer? There was only like one in for all the countries that were represented here on stream. And I went and looked up their Twitch username, and I think it was discontinued or killed or whatever. I was like, oh, poop. Well, I guess that's why they don't watch my streams anymore. Something happened. They're softer in the middle. Maybe it's just a soft thing and not like a liquid thing. Regarding expat locations, Southeast Asia is my life goes south and they need to retire early with less money location. Probably Cambodia. Interesting. I don't feel like I know anything about Cambodia. Not in modernity. Like I had some understanding of their history, but not much of their present. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about their food, their language, the people, what's going on over there. That's cool. Yeah, I used to watch this YouTuber who ended up in Vietnam. He's American. American who speaks perfect Vietnamese. I'll find him here. He's ginger guy. He speaks like 50 languages or something like that. Oh, I think it's this guy's friend. It's not this guy, but Max has a friend who is the guy. This guy's pretty cool too. He also travels a lot and has been to a lot of different places. But it was his, I'm gonna have to go back quite a ways. Maybe these two aren't friends anymore. There's his friend. Ugh, ads. Gross. Where are your friend? What's your friend's name? They won't say. Okay. We'll watch a brief ad. This guy, he picks up languages very quickly. He gets himself involved in really awkward conversations where he doesn't know enough of a language, but he tries. Who's your friend? This dude on the left, this sort of gingery guy. He just got fed up with things in America and just said, you know what? I'm going to move to Vietnam and be a vlogger. And that's literally all he does. He just has GoPros and an internet connection, and he travels places and he tries to speak a language. Obviously, the longer he hangs out in an area, the better with the language he gets. And he posts about, people's reactions to tall white American dude speaking their language to them. And for a while, this kind of content just like blew up. Yeah, I don't know how it's doing these days because I sort of fell out of this vein myself. But for a while, I was watching this guy's stuff too. And it's just like wholesome. He just walks around and like, hey, I'm interested in, having lunch here. Or like, these scarves look really cool. Can I buy one? And just talks with people on the street. There's no script. There's no like deep thought. There's no critical, it's just like a guy living in another country. It's not that controversial. And yet it was fascinating enough for even me to like watch through for quite a while. Let's back up a bit. Where am I on chat? I can buy almost a kilo of these things for 26 bucks. Okay, so I guess your wallet's not going to hurt that bad. Now, here's the question. Will a kilo actually last you a long time? You got to exercise constraint if you're going to have that much candy around the house. American person discovered that there are more than one Norwegian person. Like I said, the chances of you being this other person are very, very slim. My family's from Finland, and there are way fewer of us than there are of you. So I'm pretty certain I know that the minimal amount of Norwegians in the world far exceed the Finns in the world. $15 shipping. Wait, excuse me? $26 for the candy and $15 for the shipping? Damn, that's painful. How much would it cost to pick them up in person? How far is that from you? Just in terms of like time. I've got undiagnosed handmaid's knee, which causes my knees to be in pain and swell due to spending too much time on my knees. I'm just going to leave that comment alone. In the past. I'm going to leave that comment alone. I hope your knees get better. I hope it's something that can heal over time. But I'm not going to touch what I want to make a joke about. Did they survive the shock? Oh, me? Did I survive the shock finding out that there are more than one Norwegians? Xiao. Oh, yeah, Xiao Ma. I know about Xiao Ma too. That guy's Chinese. His pronunciation like makes me cringe. But he speaks a lot more Chinese than I do. Which is weird. Like for somebody who's definitely more fluent than me, he can go out and just do like street shopping, talk with adults about like random topics. I can only talk at like a kid level because literally the two people I spend the most time speaking Mandarin to are my two kids. And so we talk about kid topics. I know all sorts of different words that even adults in China don't regularly use, like different types of dinosaurs, some of the obscure ones that people don't have regular names for right off the top of their heads, like weird animals. You know, we talk about the difference between two animals that look very much alike but are actually very distinct and have different names. Yeah, I know a lot of weird words in Chinese, but this guy's far more fluent than I am. But when I hear him speak, I don't like his accent. I don't know. That's not... I'm trying not to be petty because he's very, you know, fluent at what he does. But yeah, that guy also. It's kind of the same sort of content, right? Xiao Ma, New York City. 7 days ago, American gets laughed out of Canada when he tries to speak French. Africans amazed that I know their language. Like it's all like clickbaity stuff, and it's literally just him going around speaking a language around people. And they're like, oh, listen to this guy speak. I'm just going to keep it muted because I really don't want to hear him speak Chinese. Appreciate what he does. But yeah, he just walks around with a camera. He's just like in public places and he's talking to people. Pretty low bar for content, right? Doesn't have to work too hard at doing this kind of stuff. It's just conversation. Just people living their lives and he goes out and hangs out with them and chats. Feels like it should be something I should do if I want to be a content creator and make good enough money to raise this whole household on. But at the same time, I have bigger ambitions than having street conversations with people in another language and trying to monetize that. I don't know. Don't know if I can get it in person without a ticket for the museum. Oh, it's like a candy shop inside of a museum. That's like $50 to get into the museum. There's got to be a way to just get into the shop. A lot of shops have that kind of thing. Like there's like a back door, like a service entrance. Like, oh, you're just here for money, or not here for money, just here to buy things. Even Disneyland, as far as I understand it, Disneyland has like a caveat that if you are just there, like, I want to buy Mickey Mouse ears hat, and I can only do that at the theme park. Can you let me in to buy the ears and I'll leave? They give you like a little pass so you can pop in, do a shop, and pop out, and you don't actually pay for a ticket. They time you though, so if you don't leave in time, they charge you for a ticket. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but that was a thing. I don't know if they still do that, but that was a thing. Is 800 grams of hard candy worth $40? I don't know, Toady. Depends on how much this candy is going to give you happiness. Not Xiao. Oh, not that guy. Somebody else. Finland. Lock people vatani perkele. Nice. Where did you pick up Finnish? That's cool. Good stuff. Keepies. Don't worry, Akumu. I didn't go down that avenue. When I first read that, I was like, yeah. Nobody said what we were all... I mean, nobody was thinking what we didn't say. The place is about an hour away. Oof, that's quite a trek. But if you get enough candy at one time, then you don't have to make multiple trips. You're not going to be paying that money to go back and forth. There's no way, right? So you take one big trip, you spend a lot of money, you have a lot of candy. It's got a long shelf life anyway. It's not going to spoil. It's not like you're getting fresh fruit. And then you enjoy your candy-filled house. Slowly, hopefully. Oh, right. Changing diapers, horsey rides, looking under couches for things. This is true. When you're little is very little, there's a lot of time where you are in their world, right? So you have to be at their height and interacting with stuff on their level. I think the part that makes me happiest about my kids' height is, especially, this didn't happen so much with the tiny, but especially with the little. Where we lived in Southern California, we had hard tile floors. And so the cat fur would turn into little like dust bunny tumbleweeds everywhere. And for some reason, and I hated this, the little would be like, ooh, tumbling dust bunny cotton candy. And she would grab the fur and shove it in her mouth. And we were like, no. And we'd, run over, pry her mouth open, be like scraping with our fingers to get the stuff off of her tongue. And cat fur on a human tongue, just the way it tickles and creates a sensation, makes babies vomit. And there's so many times when our little would cause herself to impromptu puke all over our floor because she decided to eat a cat hair tumbleweed. So we were constantly sweeping, vacuuming, and keeping her out of corners. Like, no, that corner probably has, these little dust bunnies. Do not go over there. It was just, what a menace. I'm glad she's taller now, which means the floor is so much farther away. It couldn't possibly be as interesting to... No, I'm sure there are other reasons why she does not eat cat hair today. Yeah. It's very clear the raspberry candy is the hit. That's the only one in a size above 230 grams. Gotcha. So you can get that one in bulk, but the other ones you have to kind of get just multiples of if you want a lot of it. You have to go to the curio shop with an outside entrance and use the secret word. Maybe. Like a speakeasy. Have you ever been to a speakeasy before? Those of you that drink? They're wonderful. I know that the concept behind the speakeasy is we had a weird time in the US where, one, the government decided that alcohol was really, really bad and decided to ban it. Two, the populace decided the government's full of shit and we're going to do this anyway. And so there's this weird controversy between the populace and the government that was trying to represent them. And you had all these secret areas. But today's secret speakeasies are just as cool as the old ones without all of the stress that you're doing something illegal. They could be you step into an old school phone booth and you have to dial a certain passcode, or you have to pull on a secret thing on a wall and suddenly the wall has a recessed door, the bookcase swivels open. The one that Oz and I would go to whenever we could actually afford it. This was in Southern California. There was a place that served hot pot, for those of you that know hot pot. And they had this wall that looked like big barrels of sake, sort of like a Japanese, old school shelving. But the sake barrels were fake and the shelf looked fake. It just looked like a Disneyland sake shelf if they ever did that with... they ever had alcohol at their theme parks as part of the decor, right? Well, I guess they do with Pirates of the Caribbean. They were drinking rum and stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically like this shelf that looked really like plasticky and not real. And you could go up there and there was like a little bronze bunny rabbit sitting on the shelf. And if you pulled on that bunny, it opened the shelves in a secret door. And there was a speakeasy in there. It's cool. Inside of the hot pot place. Clearly, I just need to get something other than the candy to make the shipping seem less extreme. Maybe. Do they sell other good stuff? I don't remember when or how to use the different o, and such in Finnish. Well, I could tell you that is not spelled with that. It's spelled A with umlaut. Uncle Nico, welcome to the stream. Hi, how are we doing? What's good in your head? Welcome, buddy. I didn't know you were lurking all this time. Sneaky lurker. For those of you that aren't already following Nico Crushing, please consider doing so. I still haven't figured out how to fix my other shout out tool, but I can use this one. Yeah, the sound is the sound, but the sound is A with umlaut. And the all sound just doesn't have the circle above the A. It's literally just the regular letter A. But yeah, that's it. Isaitini oli suomalainen. Having trouble thinking about exactly what that's translating to. I know suomalainen. Would it be ol? Are you trying to say olen or olet? Most of my house is hardwood. The one day during a horse ride, I caught a cord right under my kneecap. Oof. Oh, that's brutal. I could feel that just in the explanation. Yeah. By God, they also sell old-timey pocket watches. Why is the shop so broad but caters to my every possible want? They just know that some people like old stuff, like you. And some of us, I mean, I'm the same way. I'm trapped in a different era than like old lady candy era, but I feel you. Like, I want my house to look a certain way. I want my clothes to be a certain vibe. My whole aesthetic. Like, I want to live in a different era than this. I'm trapped in the modern era. But I like all my technology. I'm not a Luddite. I love computers and phones and all that sort of stuff. So I couldn't give up that to go back in time. Ah, my treadmill died. It didn't die. I don't want to say that. My ring light today actually died. But my treadmill turns off every, what is it? 250, right? Every hour? I think it's every hour. It resets and I have to turn it back on again, which, whatever. It was a super cheapy one on Amazon that I bought a long time ago. It's still working. So, you know, I've more than got my money's worth out of this one. There's booze at Disneyland / World. Oh, I mean, yeah, as far as the aesthetic of the decor, you don't generally see like booze everywhere, right? They sell coffee beans and lip balm. What am I to do? You're just gonna have to get all of it, Toady. Get it all in bulk. Anything that's not gonna spoil or go bad, right? And just line your house with old people stuff. That's how it's gonna be. My grandma was Finnish. Oh, neat. She died like 16 years ago. My condolences. That's cool. So we have something in common. Finnish heritage. Well, I'm glad that you found my stream. I also, for those of you that are watching on one platform, I stream across 4-5 platforms now. So we're live streaming on Trovo. We're live streaming on Kick. We live stream on Twitch, on YouTube. And Instagram lets us stream for 1 hour. So we stream on Instagram for 1 hour and then they get kicked off. That's how it do. Gonna lurk. I almost said country. County stuffs. Thank you for lurking. Appreciate your face. It's good to see you again. Feel like it's been a while since we've had a brief chat. So good luck. Don't let anybody rob you. Don't die. I would kill to have a button-down shirt / vest and a silver pocket watch. I could see that happening pretty easily. But in like a normal enough way that anyone who passes needs a double take. That's entirely possible. I think that the vest and pocket watch idea is something that doesn't necessarily have to look costumey. I think there are certain eras of history where if you went in that direction, people would look at you like, okay, well, what convention are you going to? You know, what photo shoot are you about to do? This isn't you regularly, right? You obviously look like a Mediterranean pirate or a retainer to Henry VIII. Like there's certain clothes that you can't just pass off in the modern era. But vests, absolutely. Pocket watches, it's a little anachronistic to modern era because who needs a pocket watch? But at the same time, it's a nice status symbol, so I could see it definitely working. Absolutely. A friend of mine I used to date from back in San Diego made a pocket watch for you? How do you meet these people? He even put a photo of my parents inside it. Jeez. Oh, he was a watchmaker's apprentice and used the watch for one of his mastery exams. Damn. It's so pretty. That sounds amazing. Well, you know, even if it didn't work out, at least you got a really sweet pocket watch out of the whole deal. A little less obtainable in the short term is a cartoonishly villainous mustache. Are you thinking about like the really well oiled, like very thin, twirled up on the edges mustache? Because those can also look just dapper. You can make yourself look, I mean, unless you want to be a villain. If you want to go full villain, don't let me stop you. But then you'll definitely turn heads for a different reason, because people are going to look for the nearest train tracks, and they're going to look to see if you've tied anybody to those train tracks to get run over by a train. If they hear you laugh and it sounds like, obviously they're going to, you know, start to call the police. It could be bad. What do you mean? I look like a total boss when I'm wearing my witch doctor mask out in public? That could be pretty badass, actually. I've got one of those plague doctor masks. I've never just like decided to go around my town, do a little bit of shopping, navigate around the antique shops with that mask on. Part of it, though, is like, I don't know how other people with plague doctor masks deal with this, but my rebreathing of my own air in that mask is brutal. Like, I could probably perforate holes in the entire thing, and it would still be just like so much. When you're wearing like a regular like surgical mask, like we all did during the plague times, you know, some people complain like, oh, it's harder to breathe. Like, you know, this filters the air differently than my natural nose. Obviously it does, you know. You get used to it. It's a different sort of experience when you breathe. And if you wear glasses or something, I do sometimes, you have like the problem of you breathe out, some of the air goes up your cheeks and it fogs up your glasses. And so if you're trying to like walk or work or whatever, and your glasses keep fogging with every exhale, it makes you like you have to breathe differently or wear your glasses differently. It's a little bit annoying. But this plague doctor mask, the eyes on it fog up really easily. I have to do like probably like a scuba diver's trick, put maybe some like baby shampoo or something inside to stop the fogging or whatever, or some other anti-fog mechanism, and it just gets really hot. Like I'm just like in the tropics inside of that mask. So I wouldn't be completely against wearing it in public, but I don't know what to do. How did I meet them? I was a bartender on the patio bar in the gay district at a bar/restaurant that was open to everyone, and right in the middle of 3 college campuses. Lots of interesting folks there. Man, yeah, you must have been like, you probably met such a wide diversity of really intriguing characters. And everybody knew you. You were there. If you were their bartender, that's pretty ideal. I live within 10 minutes of a train station. Oh, there you go. You have a perfect place to hang out and look like you're a total villain. Maybe I'll get an exceptionally evil looking cane. It's got to have like a weapon somehow. Like that you pull off the end foot of the cane and there's like a sharp, short little knife, a little cheeky hidden knife in there. I found a place that makes a rather unique looking cane with a sword inside. That's life goals. Hey, if you're old, what are you going to do? How do you defend yourself? Might as well do it with the cane that you have on you at all times. Also at the time, I was a very pretty boy, so that helped. Yee. Bartending is the go job for a single person. Honestly, yeah, used to bartend myself. And you'd be amazed just the amount of attention given to you for literally doing your job. Being attractive also helps, but yeah. You're there, you're saucing people up. You're a fixture, so they know when to come back to you to get another glimpse of you. Get a lot of notes passed. I got coaster notes, you know, they'd write on the coaster in a place where you could see their writing and subtly shift that coaster my way. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. All right. Well, before I start going too far down that memory lane, another thing I wanted to mention with the expatriate destination perks, this would be, how do we mention this? Purchase or money currency exchange would be currency sounds weird. That sounds like coin money for some reason to me. Money, just say money or finance. Well, we'll say finance. That sounds more, I don't know, an older person term. Value. Yeah, money works. There's this concept and PPP, I think, is the abbreviation. International currency. I can type. Let's see if I got it. Purchasing power parity. There we go. From the International Monetary Fund's website. So .org. So you know this probably explained it pretty well. Ew, this is actually kind of like too high level, too meta, but it kind of, I mean, basically gets the rough gist across. PP is GDP per capita, I think. It's a little bit different. Hey, what's going on, Tika? How we doing? Our topic tonight that we're hanging out discussing is if you needed to leave your country for some reason because you just didn't like where it was anymore, you felt like you needed to split. My grandparents were in this boat. Where would you go? What would be your second favorite place to be, if not the place where you currently live? So, PPP, this would be Buzz. You're good. Version of GDP called GDP PPP. I think this is it's adjusted for PPP. Yeah, PPP is, where do I find just the quick abbreviation? Oh, yeah, it's right up at the top. Purchasing power parity. So that's the thing. Can we put that in like a bullet? Purchasing power parity. So what's purchasing power parity? Let's see if they have a really good, like, quick way to explain it so that my summation is right or more accurate. The rate prevailing in the foreign exchange market. This is kind of confusing. Okay, this part seems pretty, like, simple. You're Russian? Welcome on in. Russia was probably the #1 reason why my grandparents left their country. But that's not your fault. Yeah, if you were going to pick a second favorite country to go, where would it be? If you can't go through life looking like a supervillain alter ego, why should I even bother with my appearance? That's a great point. I think everybody should be able to live the character that they are inside their own head. And if that's villainous, I'm sure you could deal with being perceived as villainous if that's what you perceive yourself as in public. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? People actually agree with you on your assessment of yourself? No English? That's all right. Put me through Google Translate or some translation app. What I should have is subtitles that translate for us, but I don't. Eventually, maybe I will have at least one. This, in theory, you can't see it on this. Oh, do I not have my subtitles up? Shoot, that was my fault. Hello? There they are. So you can, at least for people that either English is not their primary language or for whatever reason you have to watch the stream on mute. This isn't perfect, but it's at least something. I know the subtitle application that I have that this does, it does translation. I literally have tried this so many times and I can't get it to work. I was just trying to get it to translate into Mandarin Chinese, or, you know, well, I guess if it's text, into simplified Chinese. I could not get it to work. It was awful. It's garbage. Yeah. Not full villain, more cartoony Scooby-Doo villain. I love that. Remix. Oh, you're here to listen to the vibes, the music. Down. The music that we listen to usually on stream, not gonna lie, I like to go cheap. So we usually pull up stream beats. This one's free to stream. I don't get in any trouble. And this album is, I feel like a lot of this stuff doesn't really speak to me. This is the least not speaking to me album that I've found so far, called Ghost. But it does its job. At some point, what I need to find is some real vampiric Baroque music, something that you would hear in Dracula's castle, and just vibe out to that. But I can't find that in royalty free. So help me out. If you know something I don't, let me know. There are times your subtitles seem like they're attempting to raise an elder god. Oh no. So I thought you may have disabled them. No, I like to have them up because, like, first of all, I've had hearing problems for a portion of my life. I have friends who are hard of hearing. I have friends who are profoundly deaf. And while the subtitles don't accurately portray everything I say, they bridge a gap. They do some of it. It might be misleading sometimes. You might have to interpolate sometimes, but it's something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this thing, if I do this, can you still read the subtitles? Ugh. Not really. It's pretty bad. I hate that this is in like all white, but okay. Understand. Purchasing power parity. I said purchasing, right? Okay, I did. Let's take a commonly used example, price of a hamburger. If a hamburger is selling in London for £2, in New York for $4, this would imply a PPP exchange rate, £1 to $2. That's easy math, right? Pretty simple so far. Okay, so this PPP exchange rate may well be different from the prevailing in financial markets. So the actual dollar cost of a hamburger in London may be either more or less than the $4 it sells for in New York. But this type of cross-country comparison is the basis for the well-known, I didn't know this was a thing, the Big Mac index. So people actually like measure how much one Big Mac costs in different places in the world. Now I'm curious, for anybody who's not in the south of the US, how much is a Big Mac where you live? Published by The Economist magazine, calculates PPP exchange rates based on the McDonald's sandwich that sells in nearly identical form in many countries around the world. Can we do this? Can we find... Does McDonald's just have like a McDonald's.com website? Block. Find Atlanta, Georgia. Sure, I'll just pick the closest one to that. I don't want to do it this way. Can I just do Uber Eats? Will it at least tell me the price of one Big Mac? It looks like it will. Big Mac. There's meal. I don't want the meal. How do I just get like literally just the burger? Barbecue bacon QPC. Fries. Individual items. Geez, why is it like the very last thing? Big Mac. Here we go. Here we are in the... Check your address for availability. Whatever it says it. Oh, I could close that. Okay. I'm going to give my address on stream just to get this. So here, where I live, this small, probably will make you sick after eating it sandwich costs $7. And in relation to this, if I were to work an hour of a job at basic wages here, the simplest job, I'd be making what, $7.25? That's right still, right? Nothing's changed as far as US minimum wage. $7.25, right? So you got $7.25. So this will cost me how much? $6.99 out of my dollar's worth of wages. This will cost me 96% of an hour. So I'll have to work, you know, we could kind of guess this, right? So it costs you basically an hour's worth of work to eat 5 minutes of sandwich. There's no way it will take you more than 5 minutes to eat a Big Mac. These are not as large as they appear to be in this picture. They're not that large of a sandwich. So for a basic wage person, nobody skilled, nobody trained, we're not talking about doctors and lawyers, just your average, you just got out of school and you had to pick the easiest, simplest job you could do, the basic job you could do. How many hours do you need to work to earn this tiny sandwich that they make look large? Look, you even put your cursor over it and they enlarge everything to make it look even bigger than it actually is. Easy. See you on the other side of ads. Twitch, the rest of you can probably sleep easy, still being active with me. The Big Mac Index is run by The Economist. That's funny. I've heard some other people use other indices. One was like the burrito index, how much a burrito costs. But I feel like that one's hard because you have like corporate companies, like big brand, multi-branch, like Chipotle. There's like the Chipotle burrito price. And then there's like the mom and pop Mexican place by your house that's run by an old abuela. And like that burrito is going to cost different money. It doesn't really work. I didn't realize it was in the article. It's cool, but it doesn't mean much practically. Japan is very low on the Big Mac Index, still medium expensive. That's a good point. Yeah, this probably is maybe not the best way to accurately portray things because some things cost more than others do, and they're not regular for their place, right? Like a Big Mac might be stupid expensive someplace where it's hard to get the ingredients there and it's hard to build a McDonald's there. But maybe the people there don't actually eat McDonald's. McDonald's would be probably a bad yardstick for any place where the populace eats other food most of the time because ain't nobody going to that store. This does make an assumption that that McDonald's is regularly visited. And I'd say even in my own city, I don't see McDonald's as being like the #1 busiest drive-through. You know, you drive down the street, you see drive-through places or fast food shops. You can kind of see like how poppin' they are, how busy it would be, how long it would be to wait for food. And it's not like McDonald's is top on that list. People don't like clamor and wait long lines just to get their shitty Big Macs. And probably eat other food instead, and might be better money for the value for the money that you spend. I think a Big Mac was like $8 or something. Oh, okay. Just for $7, you too can have intestinal blockage and difficulty digesting something that doesn't have the ability to spoil due to being only 2% of it being made of actual food, right? Has anybody else seen that kind of stuff? Like somebody will put McDonald's hamburger somewhere like out in room temperature and just leave it exposed and see how long it takes to actually start to grow mold. It's a little disturbing. Big Mac down here is like 15 minutes of minimum wage. 15 minutes? All right, we're adding Australia to this list. God damn it. Why is it only 50? It's almost an entire hour of work here. For minimum wage. 15 to 20 minutes. Jeez. So there is a period of time. I'm just saying this for those of you that aren't like terminally online. You might not have known this. There's a period of time in January where the application TikTok went down in the US for less than 24 hours, if I'm understanding correctly. And they said, don't worry, President Trump is looking to fix this, which made a lot of people feel weird. If you don't like Trump, then it felt really weird to see this non-US application mention him by name as to why it's going to come back up. And when it came back up, it thanked President Trump for having done so. So a lot of people who were just like not really pro-Trump were like, yo, I don't want to be back on this app. When an app comes back from another country, comes back and thanks the US president and one who is polarizing at best, it pushed a lot of people away from the platform. Many people who wanted a similar experience to TikTok that was also based somewhere in East Asia went to a different app called Xiaohongshu, or it was rebranded in America as Red Note. And in that app, I've spent some time in there because I speak some Chinese, and so I thought it would be interesting to see a cultural collide between people who are leaving TikTok and people who are already edified there, who live in various parts of China, and see how they communicate with each other. See how much of this is like crossing the Great Firewall, and like what's going on with the cultural exchange there. And one of the things that I found so fascinating is that the vast majority of the Chinese user base on Xiaohongshu were floored by how poor Americans are. I think China's rhetoric on the United States was, look at their GDP, look at their medians, look at how much money pumps through this nation, how much defense spending they do, how in everybody's governments the US is as far as like trade agreements and negotiations and war and all this sort of stuff. They are doing great. And so their people are prosperous. And then they meet actual Americans through Xiaohongshu. And the Americans are like, yeah, here's how much I have to work to afford this little shithole apartment. And then here's how much money I have left over when I'm done paying for my bills. In many people's cases, there wasn't left over. You weren't living a life where you could save money, you know? Yeah. I think minimum wage is something like $23 an hour. Can we check? Is it federal? Is it universal across the nation? Or what? Red Note is based. I believe this too. Australian federal. Let's see federal, if that's a thing. Minimum wage. Minimum wages. So it's more complex than just that. National minimum wage order. Current national minimum wage from 1st of July 2024. National minimum wage is $24.10 per hour. Yeah. Yep. There it is. Casual employees covered by the national minimum wage also get a 25% casual loading. What is this? Can we define what the hell casual loading is? Casual loading. Additional payment made on top of a casual employee's fixed hourly wage, usually 25%. However, an award or enterprise agreement may have a different amount. They receive higher rate of pay to compensate for the fact they do not receive all of the same paid entitlements as a permanent employee, such as annual leave or personal leave. So basically, it doesn't doesn't give you stuff like leave, but it gives you a little bit of compensation for missing out on everything. They try to help out a little bit better. So for example, if a casual worker is paid the current national minimum wage, this was written in 2019, so, off numbers. Oh, updated in 2024, but then since then the minimum wage has changed again in June or July, what it was. Their award enterprise agreement stipulates casual loading rate of 25%. Then they would actually get $29.04. Why am I still in this country? Touching lightly on the topic of money, I think I heard something or other about you lot being taxed on what you buy. Yes, in the US, many things, not everything in the world, but a good majority of things incur a sales tax. And in some localities, you can have a sales tax that is levied on you from the state and another one that is levied on you from a smaller subdivision, whether that is county level or city level. That can be different from place to place, but you'll usually have the two taxes combined and it will just be called sales tax on your receipt. So you won't actually know the breakdown, what percentage of this goes to the state, what percentage of this goes to my smaller local municipality, but it will end up being some percentage total. Yeah. If we were to look just at Atlanta, to sales tax. So sales rate in Georgia, many counties have a sales and local tax rate. In Atlanta, combined sales tax rate is 8.9%. And the city itself of Atlanta is 1.9% of that. So there you go. Can I get a brief explanation if true? Yeah. And this depends on, what state the thing being bought. What state the person lives in who is doing the buying. It sounded as if it was some hidden number. So in many countries, as I understand this, the tax is included on your tag on the item, right? You go into a physical shop, you see a nice jacket you like, and the jacket says 25 quid for this jacket. You go, hey, that's a pretty good price. That's pretty cheap, right? I'm going to get this jacket. You come up to the register, you pass them 25, and they give you the jacket because that's the total price there on the little tag. In the US, they give you the price of the merchandise, but they don't tell you any of the additional taxes or fees associated with buying that product. Some things have other fees associated with them as well. In order to encourage certain recycling practices, you might have to pay a little extra bump for buying things in glass or aluminum containers, with the incentive that you might want to go somewhere to a facility that pays you to turn in recyclable goods, and they'll pay you back for that. So you get that money back, but only if you commit to recycling, right? You'd have to take it somewhere to a facility and get it recycled to try to get that money back. But most people don't. So that's a little bit extra cost. And that's not on the sales tag. That is at the register when you're ready to buy. They say, okay, the total for this, $2.99 beverage is actually $3.40 when all the other little extra things are added in. They surprise you at the last second, right? Yeah. 24 Australian, but it's 15 US. Okay, that's still double US minimum wage, right? 15 is minimum wage in my state. Lucky. But your cost of living is probably also a lot higher here or there than me, right? So we could also compare just like your basic apartment and how much it costs like per square footage too. It'd be about $30 for casual. Oh, okay. Yeah. Your sales tax isn't included in the listed price? No, they like to surprise you at the register. So whenever you buy stuff, you're doing one of two things. If you're like me and you are a critical thinker, you're thinking, I'm grabbing a $10 piece of merchandise. I should have $12 or $13 to spend on this in case they're extra, you know, how much extra you have to, probably not that much, but you know, $10 would be like, you probably have 11 bucks worth of actual pay at the register price. So you think in terms of that. And of course, they all play this like little silly game. Oh, it's not actually $10, it's $9.99. Well, that's really a $9 and change item then, right? No, it's still more like an $11 item if you really put all the fees together. So do that. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate your face jam. Your face jam. That sounds so gross. So yes, that is what a critical thinker would do. What I feel like the vast majority of people do is they actually take the rounded down number, right? Something on a sales tag is $9.99. In their brain, they're thinking the thing I'm picking up right now to buy is, in their brains, $9 and change. This is $9 and change. And then they end up being eroded away extra money, and they don't quite realize why it's all going away so fast. Because in their head, they're being more frugal than they actually are. Well, they only spent like $9 and something at the grocery store for each of these items, you know. It's like, no, you didn't. You know, you add it all up. You have all of this extra, all these extra fees. They end up taking a lot more money than your bad math is doing, or your lack of math is doing. Yeah. On average, sales tax can be between 5 to 10% of the bill, which is then broken into state and federal allotments. It's not always, wait, federal? I've never seen a federal sales tax though. Some states don't have sales tax at all. Unless you mean like, no, I can't think of a federal tax on goods. Is there? Maybe there is. I just don't know it. Some states don't have sales tax at all, like Oregon. True. Oregon does have some weird problems, though. For not having a sales tax, they also have other things that maybe a sales tax would give them some money to help them fix. So it's good on one end, but it's also bad on revenue for another end. So it's complex. Washington State, where I live, doesn't have state income tax. Oh, yeah. We also get income taxed, too, right? So that's a different old other bean. But our sales and property taxes are higher. Gotcha. What I'm hearing is that sales in the US are built on deception about prices. Yes. In fact, I would argue without any proof. So, you know, just take this as like a litmus test on just how I feel about the US and not probably anything factual necessarily. But I feel like policies in the US, not just tax, just policies in the US are based on deception. The way our legal wording on things goes, signing a contract, agreeing to a terms of service agreement. These things are deceptive. They use language that people don't understand. They go into very great depths so that you don't have the time and the energy and the resources to read through everything that you have to in order to adopt and accept certain agreements and contracts and everything to move forward in your life. So they overwhelm you, both in the terms of how much you would have to read and the high level at which you would have to read to understand what you're getting into. And then they take stuff from you. And when they do, they say, well, you agreed to all of this. That's how this works. You signed the agreement. You are using our services, and this is part of that, is you lose this right. One of the biggest things is a lot of big companies have decided that if you want to be involved in their services, you lose the right to sue them in a court of law. They will refuse your ability to litigate against them. Yep. Some places also have what's called sin tax, which is a syntax. That's funny. A tax assigned to substances that intoxicate people, like booze or weed, if it's legal. Right. Although weed is not legal anywhere. Right. When states legalize the use of marijuana, they are directly antagonistic to federal mandate. So that is a state that is against federal. They're deliberately going against federal law. Now, so far, our feds have been pretty cool. They're just sort of like turning their heads and going, I don't know of any scheduled drug system that we have in the feds that's going to make us come to your state and do anything about it. But if a president were ever antagonistic enough, they could say, you know what? As long as you are allowing marijuana usage legally in your state and you are declining federal mandates on the substance, we're going to deny you SWAT. We're going to deny you interstate highway maintenance. They could be big bully if they wanted to. And so far, every president since the first legalization states have come out has just been cool and not said anything about it. We'll see how that all goes. At some point, the feds will have to make a decision, right? But right now, it's this really weird gray area where they just don't. That's fucked. I thought syntax was for math. US is not the only place that doesn't include in the listed price. Interesting. Where else? Just out of curiosity, if you knew any places that do. At least where I am, the sales tax is included on the listed price. That to me sounds honest. That sounds honest. Oregon has high income tax to compensate. Oh, gotcha. But the sales tax disproportionately impacts the poor. Oregon system is more fair. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Obviously, yeah, when you need to buy stuff and poor people need to buy stuff more often, it's gonna hit them harder, more regularly. Yeah, that sucks. Some states have that as a requirement here too. Oh, with the sales tax included? Really? Oh. Looks like your lowest federal tax bracket is a 10% tax. When you say federal tax bracket, are you talking about income taxes? Here it's 0% unless you earn over 18K. Let's take a look. 2024 USA income tax brackets. There we go. All brackets. So yeah, every sort of category of tax filer, if you are making even $1 in a year, but at the absolute lowest, you will have to give 10%. But here's the thing, the US tax code is also really weird and wonky. This is not your effective tax rate or ETR. This is just the tax rate on paper. For low income earners, there are also other things. Income tax, low income what is it called? It's, if I look through here, it's gonna find it for me. Oh, earned income. That's not right, is it? Is it EITC or is it something else? I remember claiming this plenty of years. So, but there are things that give you extra benefits to being low income to offset that tax rate. And if I look through my historic tax rates, I'm not going to go that far down the rabbit hole on a live stream. But there was 1 year where if you added the California income tax, the federal income tax, and then all of my credits and allotments for being poor, for paying back student loan, and on top of just paying back the loan, I'm also paying back student loan interest. So I'm paying interest payments for having dependents. Once Oz and I started to start a family, right? We have credits for having kids, for raising kids. When all of that stuff comes into play, there was 1 year where my tax rate went negative. My effective tax rate. It wasn't far negative, but it was negative. It was a negative 0.19%. So in other words, the feds and the state took everybody else's tax money, spent it on a bunch of programs, and spent just a little tiny bit of it into my household as a way of saying, look, we know you're not going to make it. You're not funding things this year, but we want you to hang out because your propensity in the future to contribute to this great nation is there. And so we're just giving you just the tiniest little bit back, just a sliver of change back at you this year. And next year you can probably start paying us more money, which is true. We did pay more the next year, but our effective rate has never been 10%. Never been so high as that. Yeah. But I do like that there it's 0% unless you earn over 18K. It sounds nice. It sounds very nice. How's the rescheduling of marijuana from Schedule 1 to 3? That started last year. Let's take a look. Since we're here on a fact-checking mission tonight, Marijuana USA schedule update. Let's see where we're at. May of 2024, the Department of Justice proposed reclassifying marijuana from 1 to 3 of the Controlled Substances Act. The lower the number, the closer to 1, the higher the danger of that particular substance. And a lot of people were like, we get it. There are some drugs that make you manic and violent, and you go out robbing and killing, and you're delirious and delusional, and you could cause serious harm and self-harm. But marijuana is probably not there, right? So this proposal was made. What would this change mean? November 26th was the last time this was updated. Formal hearing proceedings regarding the proposed rescheduling of marijuana will begin December 2nd, 2024 in the North Courtroom, blah, 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 blah. The preliminary hearing will serve as a procedural day to address legal logistical issues and discuss future dates for the evidentiary hearing on the merits. No witness testimony will be offered or received. Blah, blah, blah. Background, here's the proposal being made. It doesn't seem like there's an answer past this unless there's an update on this. Can we say marijuana reschedule and see what comes up on theirs? January 15th. Hearing on the proposed rescheduling of marijuana postponed. The hearing will be hearing scheduled to begin on January 21st regarding the proposed rescheduling of marijuana has been postponed pending resolution of an appeal filed by a party in the proceedings. The order is available on DEA.gov. Oh, this is a court document. Yep, that's what this is. So somebody probably asked for an injunction. When assessing a motion to reconsider, decisions not necessarily dispositive, trier of facts must assess. Here's some case background. Inasmuch as the movement's motion to reconsider sufficiently establishes none of these regulatory prerequisites, it's denied. In its motion to reconsider, the movements have requested that the event of relief they seek is denied, that they be granted leave to file an interlocutory appeal. Under the DEA regulations, in most circumstances, an interlocutory appeal requires the consent of the presiding administrative law judge. Wow, there's so many footnotes. There's more footnotes than actual text on this page. Are you kidding me? Anxious for action on the proposed rescheduling of marijuana, but the movements, a subset of the pro-rescheduling DPs, are apparently eager to trade a timely disposition and recommended decision for the dubious advantage of piling on more DPs. So, MTR, leave to file an interlocutory appeal is granted. The hearing on the merits was rescheduled, or that was scheduled to commence on January 21st, canceled. The proceedings are stayed. Stayed really means there's going to be an appeal. The appeal will have to be weighed, and there's no timeline. Stayed means basically no timeline. Further ordered that the movements and the government provide this tribunal the joint status update 90 days from the issuance of this order. So in other words, late January, they're given 3 months to figure out what next steps are. It's going to be a while before we get an answer to this. It'll be a while. Yeah. Income tax, yeah, I worry about you guys. I mean, can we afford to live here? Some of us. No, a good majority of Americans can afford to live in America. Can we afford to live here well? That's hard to say. It takes a lot of money to run Oz's and my 2 kids. I feel like that shouldn't be the case. We don't even have a complex household. Imagine if one of our kids had some sort of chronic illness and we needed to go to regular doctor's visits, get regular infusions, transfusions, some, just we had a big need, or we had a special needs kid and we needed, special services. Well, a lot of that stuff is actually subsidized by government aid and whatnot. So some of that stuff does come down the pipeline in nice ways. If Oz or I were disabled in some way, getting into the disability support system of the country is very difficult. It requires lots of appealing, lots of conversations, lots of basically begging and reopening your case files to try to get motion to move. Things are very, very slow. Once you're approved, you're approved. But the getting to the approved part for anybody that needs disability payments because they cannot work is excruciating. Ask anybody who's on disability how it went for them to get there. Looked it up. The rescheduling of it to 3 is underway. As of January 25th, the hearings have started. Interesting. So they started back up that fast. We just makes to sleep or snack. Not exactly murder material. I don't know anybody who's ever been like let's just say you are at the point where you're frying brain cells. Let's say you had one edible and you're like, this edible ain't shit. I'm going to have 5 more. And you were on the moon. What did you do with that time? Anybody who's had that experience, or if you know anybody who's had that experience, you probably watched some Looney Tunes. You probably got a bowl of cereal. You probably hydrated a lot for your dry mouth. You probably had a really weird conspiracy theory you sat down and wrote in Google Docs and then read it, and you were afraid that the government was going to catch on to your crazy ideas, and then you deleted the whole thing again. You're not running out and causing crime. You're just not. Yeah. Hearing witnesses is what started on the 25th, which I think was mentioned in the court order. Gotcha. It's one of the more time-sensitive parts. Gotcha. Got it. Thank you for doing that extra research. If you guys ever feel the need to come down here, maybe wait for the little to get older so that they aren't curious about spiders. They're spider friendly, but they give them distance. They give them space. Yeah, they know that some spiders hurt and hurt bad. My sister joined one of the tribes out in Arnhem Land. I don't know what that is. Also, we live in snake country, so they already know what, venomous creatures can do and are like. So I have a whole family of folks out there that I need to go meet at some point. Interesting. I'm just gonna. You can answer too, but Arnhem Land, you mean in Australia? Oh. Wait, where is this? Where is this? This is this the area? Is this the region? This is what pulled up when we looked it up. I know that this part of Australia exists, but I don't know almost anything about this area. Do people live here? Is it a good way of life? How's the weather? I imagine the weather for this part of Australia coming through the Timor Sea and coming through here could be quite brutal. Am I wrong in thinking that? Is this area good for weather or bad for weather? I feel like it's bad. Arnhem Land is one of the territories in Australia on the northeastern tip. So, yeah, I don't know if this really did its due diligence pulling this up. Is it more like over there? More like over? Yeah, I guess this. If we pulled this up, this will actually show us a better example. Oh yeah, just east of Darwin. Gotcha. Yeah, so the western more of those two tips I was pointing at. Here we are. Interesting. Why here? Just out of curiosity. If you know your sister. My advice is Victoria. I have bias, but I think it's a fair distance from Sydney, which is where the bad spiders are. Yeah. It's very rural, heavily forested. My sister said there are a few crazy storms, but nothing crazy like annual hurricanes in Florida. Okay. All right. It looks, I don't know what it looks like. I like the water. I mean, I like water, period. I don't know the pictures do a place justice to know what a place is like to live in. Ceremony country. Beyond this point lies sites of traditional significance to Aboriginal people. Please respect the sanctity of this area. That's cool art. Interesting. I'm sure your sister has a very interesting life story. How she ended up there and all that. Not spiders. Oh, just one horrible ass spider. Oh, I've seen video of the funnel webs. Yeah. Fuck the Sydney funnel web. Could not pay me enough to be in the same room. My sister's husband was sent there on a Fulbright scholarship to study the native musical instruments. Oh, cool. Didgeridoo specifically said they were out there for a few years. Sydney isn't nearly as far from Vic as I thought. How far are they? Directions from Victoria. I mean, that's a whole whopping 10-hour drive. Flight's not available. How come you can't fly between these two? It says flight's not available. God forbid you find a big boy spider. No thanks. I'm good. I'm not really big on big boy spiders. One of my first friends on all of the internet was from Adelaide. I learned a bit about that city from her, but not a whole lot. Yeah, for those of you that don't know much about Australia, the vast majority of what you see that's in sort of like beige is not densely populated. So don't think of this like a European country where it's like, oh, you know, it's old, it's rich, and every nook and cranny has somebody's grandma's cabin or shack or like lots going on. It's rich with history and full of life and vim and vigor. There are great places to live on this beautiful continent, and there are not so great places. And it's basically pretty indicative when you look at just the dispersion of the roads in the major cities, where you can do a thing and where you cannot do a thing so easily. Yeah. That's a discovered species from the last month. If you didn't know, the Newcastle big boy. Ooh, do I need to know? That's actually a name of a spider now. Newcastle big boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a thing. No, I don't want more precise locations. Livescience.com. Big boy spider becomes Australia's largest deadly funnel web after a surprise discovery. This was published just January 20th of this year. Look at that glorious beast. What a beauty. Oh man, all these things. Go away. Everybody, go away. One of Australia's biggest and deadliest spiders is actually 3 different species, researchers discover. Oh, that's 3 big boys. One of these behemoth arachnids is even bigger than the rest. The Atrix robustus, a glossy black in color, grow to 1.5 inches or 3.8 centimeters long. The iconic arachnids are among the most venomous spiders to humans. How lovely for Sydney. Good job. They can live in suburban areas, wander into houses during the summer when males leave the burrow to search for mates. And instead, they find a different type of mate, don't they? Their venom contains a toxin that attacks the human nervous system, so bites need immediate medical attention because a victim can die within 15 minutes. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah. Good stuff. I love the threat of a 15-minute hospital trip. Or hopefully they're just like local toxicology clinics more than just like the big hospitals. They're just like, yo, we'll stab you real fast with this anti-venom so you can go on your way. You don't have to go all the way to like a big time hospital or something. If I recall, it's like double the size of a Sydney funnel web. Yikes. The real funnel web spider, and described in 1877, is Atrax robustus. Then there's Atrax montanus, discarded as inaccurate until the new research found it does exist. They mostly live in rainforests. And then Atrax christenseni, found in a small region surrounding the city of Newcastle. There we go. There's the Newcastle one. Named for Kane Christensen. Boy, wouldn't you love a spider named after yourself? Gave the spiders the nickname Big Boys. They're the largest of the three. Oh, wait. We didn't read this size. They can be up to 9 centimeters long. Yikes. That is a big boy. First anti-venom for the funnel web spiders was developed in 1981. That's like a century after having the spiders around. Wow. And there have been no recorded deaths from these spiders since then. Crazy. That's brutal. That is brutal. Australia has some good shit going for it, but you kind of need to know how not to fuck around and find out. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I think we closed our purchasing power parity thing here when we got to the Big Mac thing, and I was like, oh, that sucks, actually. Can we find a different article than this one? This one was like so-so. Oh, literally can't. Purchasing power parity. There's a Wikipedia article. Wait, I see infographics. Damn, I'm a sucker for infographics. Investopedia, this is one of my favorite websites for learning stuff that's not Wikipedia. I feel like they do a really good job at explaining financial things. Compares different countries' currencies through a basket of goods approach. Probably smarter than the Big Mac index, right? PPE exchange rate at which one nation's currency can be converted into another to purchase the same amounts of a large group of products. That makes so much sense than focusing on one type of burger that maybe some people wouldn't even bother to eat, or it'd be way expensive in some country versus another. You compare a large amount of things. And I'd say among these things, compare staples, like how much does an apartment cost, right? Like something that everybody would probably use in a given area. I got a spider next to me when I sleep. Jerry doesn't bother me none, though. If they have a name, they're probably okay, right? They're probably an okay folk. Yeah, I'm kind of saving to go to Australia till I'm closer to end life, because it 1 bajillion % would be me that would die because I tried to pet the fluffy thing and it ate me. Like, oh, aren't you a cute? Well, I don't know what you are, but oh, you're quite stabby in the mouth parts. Well, goodbye, cruel world. I had a pet black widow for a while. As long as you don't get cuddly, they're interesting animals. They make really interesting webs. Black widows are like the assassin of the spider world. They don't go toe to toe. They don't wrestle with creatures. They like stab and run. You mostly got to keep in mind you're bigger than 90% of the animals, so they don't want to fuck around and find out, so you shouldn't either. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Right, so according to this concept, two currencies are in equilibrium. The currencies are at par when a basket of goods is priced the same in both countries, taking into account the exchange rates. Right, exchange rates being basically, you know, what kind of money can you earn for, you know, your different sorts of jobs, your minimum wage earners, your high-end wage earners, and then what can that money be spent on? What do you get? Yeah, what do you get for your hour? This basically, and I feel like the movie In Time, you all know which movie I'm talking about, right? does a great job at explaining this. You've all seen this movie before with Justin Timberlake. It's not a great movie, but it has at least one really good premise. That premise being everybody has a timer on their arm. When the timer goes out, they die. And so you go and you work and you get more time on your arm. But there are a bunch of elite people who have years and years well beyond human lifespan. This is where it gets kind of sci-fi. So they could live essentially forever, or as long as they feel like living. And they don't have to do anything. They could pay time for everything. And this clock goes up when you work and goes down when you get goods. So you do an hour of hard labor, you get however many, hours or minutes or whatever. You go drink a coffee and you give them some of your time. This is how money actually works. That's the kind of insidious genius of this movie that's otherwise kind of meat-headed and action-based. So the movie's not like particularly deep, but it does make some good points. And the one big one that I really took away from the movie was the concept that when somebody gives you a paycheck or gives you raw, hard cash in your hand for having done labor, what you've mostly done is given time off of your life. You can get back the sore muscles. You can take a bath, you can soak, you can relax, you can become somebody back at unity with your body. You can go rant to a friend if you had a hard day at work mentally. The mental load, the psychological load was crazy, or at worst, you go and see a therapist about it or something. But you can get back your brain. You can't get back your time. And I'm being glib, obviously some sorts of trauma from some kinds of jobs, physical trauma can sometimes be permanent. Mental trauma from some sort of jobs can sometimes be permanent. So I'm just saying in a very general sense. But the time is the one thing you really, no matter what, you lose every time. You go clock in, you work for 8 hours. That 8 hours is done. You've given it to somebody else. You've given it to your employer. And they thank you in some way that is just an intermediary. Money doesn't actually do its own special separate thing. It gives you time back, because if you wanted a cup of coffee, you could go farm, go raise coffee trees, go take those beans and go grind them, dry them, grind them, go make a coffee machine and brew the coffee. You could do all of those things in time and by procuring certain, tools and all of that, and become your own maker of coffee. Or you could do something that's far easier, like go work at a desk job, and then use some of the time that you spent doing that to pay somebody else their time for making the coffee. It's just a big time exchange. That's what the vast majority of this PPP stuff is. It's not exchange of currency, it's exchange of time. I put in certain hours. My hours are valued at a certain level. If I do unskilled labor, I get a different evaluation than if I do highly skilled neurosurgery or scientific discoveries or whatever it happens to be. Lawyer, you'll be valued differently. And then you pay other people that value for their services. Yeah. The remaining 10% is kangaroos and birds like emus. I don't need to go on that tangent. Yeah, those are animals that are really interesting to see, usually from a safe place. And the roos, don't mess with the roos. They're not tame, sweet animals. They will kick you into the sun. I don't know anybody that thinks that they're safe or polite animals. Crashing into a roo is a good way to lose like 1,000 in repairs. We have the same problem here with deer. Deer are so prevalent. They are essentially on vermin level here. And because they're at the vermin level, it's very easy to get licenses to go out and hunt the deer to thin down their numbers. But it doesn't seem to solve for the problem of They are all over all of our neighborhoods at night, and they don't understand roads very well, and they will cross roads anytime, anywhere, and they don't understand the motions or, stimuli that are involved with cars. And so we find many deer hit every month. Every month. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you're in, what big highway or small back road or whatever, you'll see somebody that got absolutely pummeled by a vehicle. And while you don't always get to see the vehicle that did it, they get crunched. They get absolutely demolished. A deer smashing into the front of your car isn't like the deer bounces off into a bloody paste and your car is fine. Your car is going to face a lot of body work, sometimes worse. Sounds like deer were around where I live. Yeah, Tro gets it. Roos are like 90% muscle, and with how much of a dent they make, it shows. Oh yeah, they're dense creatures. It's actually more like 50%, but the point stands. Yeah. I've seen a few that look like roided out muscle masters. Scary shit. It's true. If anybody has never seen just a general kangaroo, they've some of them look pretty fuzzy and cute when they're in certain postures. But I think, when you see one upright and has been, I guess there's a lot of different, there's a lot of cute pictures of babies. Can we say roided out? Will that give us an appropriate look at some of the strong ones? Oh, look at these magnificent beasts. They're so shredded. 200-pound ripped kangaroo crushes metal. Yeah, you don't want to mess with these things. How to survive a kangaroo attack on Facebook 6 days ago. Oh my. Jack Roo squares up to gardener. No, he does not, because the gardener is done. The gardener quits for the day. They're like, that's it. No good. No thank you. Red kangaroos. Their intimidation tactics pretty much come at me, bro. Yeah. Yeah. This seems like a good article to add to the notion with purchase power parity. Can we do a sub bullet off of that and add the Investopedia there? There's a whole metric here, but I don't know that it's worth knowing this if you're not, part of a consortium that does these sort of calculations. It's not worth writing down all that kind of stuff. But used to make a meaningful comparison to prices across countries, wide range of goods and services must be considered. However, the one-to-one comparison is difficult to achieve due to the sheer amount of data that must be collected. I don't see how that's a problem, actually. That sounds like a 1990s problem, and that today we would be able to grab that mass data, and this shouldn't be difficult. Things change in the country. We're able to grab the prices, add them to a big database, and then update all the numbers ad hoc. Stream. If I'm reading part of that right. How's it going, Cookish? I barely read just a few words of Russian. I'll confess. I'm much more English dependent. However, if you speak Spanish or Chinese, there's a good chance I'm much more fluent in those. I speak more or less 10 different languages, but I'm really majority English and Mandarin Chinese these days. But if you're asking how the stream's going, pretty good. Yeah, we're talking about places you would rather go if something ever happened to your home country. You just can't stand it. You don't want to be there anymore. You can't be there anymore for whatever reason. Where'd you go? All right. So it looks like a few people actually use PPP regularly, like the World Bank. Do they get is there a 2024 report when you close? What is the World Bank and what does it do? That was not the link I wanted. Could we do maybe World Bank PPP? Public-private partnership. Whoops, that's not the thing. Conversion factor. Maybe this. Let me see if I can pop up a translate on the side window here real fast. Translate. Look like one of the characters from the series Brasik. Now I have to know. Who are these characters? 2019 series. I'm so bad at watching shows and movies. Which one do I look like? Let's take a look and see who's guessing I actually look like out of these folks. Who do I look like? Maybe this dude? Nah. His nose is like, I have a wide nose. This guy's got a really like long nose. Oh, good question. I look like this guy. This guy's weird. Not that guy, probably. I don't know. Oh, maybe this dude. This guy. If my hair was short again, I don't have. If I pull my hair out, it's a lot longer than it used to be. So, but I would say probably this dude. High forehead, kind of a wider nose, got the 5 o'clock shadow. Maybe that dude. I gotta get my hair out of my face. Hard to stream and actually see what I'm looking at here while I'm doing that. PP conversion factor. So what are these values? Are these actually like how easy it is to afford stuff in various countries? And are these trends? That's pretty cool. Okay, so these only go up to as recently as 2023 though. Unless there's another one of these that's newer, but I don't feel like there is. But it kind of gives you an interesting idea of where trends are going in the country. For Shiggles, since it looks like we have a Russian speaker, can we see how Russia's doing these days? Really high trajectory, just like straight up, and the ability for its people to purchase stuff and just like live a good life. It just looks like a straight good curve all the way up. How's the US? dare I see? Real flat. So not much change in the ability to earn and hold on to anything. It's just, it's hard to live here, and staying that way for a while. I know we skipped past Australia. Also fairly flat. However, it seems like the trend has been to stay that way. Yeah. Let's see. I have a shaved head. I always walk like this. It's normal. Oh, wait. Do you walk too when you stream? Because I'm definitely walking right now. I'm on a treadmill. I know what that word means, and yet I'm not. But I'm not against it. Everybody lives their own life. So that gives us a better idea. GDP by purchasing power parity. I think this is what Toady was talking about before, where you actually have a comparison based on what you earn and then what you're actually. So here it would show like, it looks like the US is earning so much money if you just look at regular nominal GDP. But when you compare it to, you know, the next biggest earners, and it looks like, oh, they're doing great, they're earning so much, and then you compare that. I wonder if this is just flat for the US because they're using them as like the baseline for everybody else. Seems kind of US centric. I don't know if I like that idea. But when you look at it in terms of that, and it looks like China's only earning like 2/3 the same, 2/3 of the GDP that the US is. It's like that might be, but in China, your money as a citizen, as just like somebody who lives in the country, goes a lot farther, right? You can do so much more with your paycheck. And looks like the same thing is happening with other people in this top list. India, GDP by PPP is like doing much better, although not as good as the US or China, and just keeps going down from there. So these other countries further down the list, it's getting more and more expensive to live there. It's harder to live on the money that you earn on that list. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you for thinking I said something smart. I usually gave you the benefit of the doubt, even if you won't. You might think of yourself as non-smarty villain, but I think of you as something different. All right. Yeah. I feel like we did a pretty good job looking through some detailed parts. Obviously, we didn't I still have like another hour of streaming, but I also don't know how far down the rabbit hole we want to get, like going to individual countries and like listing out their pros and cons and that sort of thing. But this is here. So if anybody wanted to bring up some pros and cons of an area, like, oh, hey, I really fetishize Japan, I wanted to look it up. I found some really good reasons why you'd want to live there. I also found some really big drawbacks. Mention it in my Discord. So this is where the envy part of the Discord would come to play. You would go into the roles server or roles channel, opt in for envy, and you can mention there to add stuff to the Notion. I think I cut myself off, or I got what's the word I'm looking for? I got distracted from explaining how this whole system between the Discord and the Notion works. I said I wanted to bring in people that were like the champions of the different sin channels into here, and I was going to do it that way. What I found out is if I open this up and make this a public to collaborators server, I can have up to 10 different collaborators with me on this. That's probably enough, honestly, because then the gluttony community could all turn to the gluttony champion. The pride community can all turn to the pride champion and tell them what to add in. So it's kind of like a hierarchy. Then that person can act as a moderator to the Notion. And this was where I was going. This is where I was going. Oh, see you Twitch folks on the other side of ads. I'll finish after that. Let me add. You love Slavic women because they are good women, not mercenary prostitutes like in America and Europe. I've heard the idea that Americans could be like that, and you're right. They can be. I know this type of person, but they're not as what's the word I'm looking for? They're not as common as you might think. There are places you can go where the women in the United States have certain expectations of you and your finances, and they won't settle for less. But the majority of people that I have met in this country don't act that way and don't have that expectation because it's not normal. It's a learned behavior. Prevalent, yes. Yeah. And I see this with certain types of men too, right? Certain types of men, certain types of women, they have big expectations and standards, and mercenary is actually like a great term. They get very mercenary about who they will date, who they will marry, how they will live their lives, what they get out of it. If they're not getting what they want out of it, they will cut you off, leave, find somebody new. But that's not always the case. In most places, people don't learn that kind of behavior. Some big cities, it becomes a bad internal culture problem. But I feel like those people also spend a lot of their time unhappily fighting a weird war that most of the world does not fight when it comes to love. You just fall in love, you act stupid around somebody, they accept you, and you live happily ever after. Right, we're still waiting one more minute for the people to come back from the long ad break. Thank you for bearing with me for the way ads work now on Twitch. I know it's way longer and way more excruciating for those people that cannot skip ads, but I'm hoping that it means that the hour-long chunks that we have are more meaningful There's less interruptions, less me getting lost in my own thought trains because I'm able to stay on one path for longer. And honestly, the ad, like I was saying before, watching the old streams, the ad breaks were so distracting to me because they came up so often. I feel like this way's better. It also gives me a chance to take a break and a reset if I needed it, and gives you all a chance to do the same if you wanted it. Yeah. Hey. Welcome back. I'm actually doing this. I'm actually, moving because I'm on the treadmill. Also, Cookish, can I just say I'm really happy that you're hanging out with me enough. Like, obviously not speaking English, but you're understanding or at least using a translator to get some dialogue back and forth. I love that we're able to do this. It's pretty cool. But American women love money and not men. Again, big city women, there's certain areas where this is taught, where you're learning to do this, but most of the country is not this high big city woman. Yeah. But for men that get frustrated with that type of culture and they live in a place where they feel like that's all they meet, they do go somewhere else. They do go meet other people. In fact, there's even a really weird subculture of a certain type of man, usually from big cities, that deliberately go and find like Slavic dating websites to find a very specific type of loyal, non-capitalist woman that will not be interested in money, that will only be interested in love. I don't know how well that works out. I've never been in that boat. I've never spent much time chasing somebody who is more interested in money, because to me it's a waste of my time and theirs for us to even talk. So what I was going to say is, yeah, we were going to do it with the leaders of each sin being direct collaborators in this with me, writing Notion articles, with updating, adding stuff with me. And Notion has limitations. They say if you add collaborators, if this is no longer a private Notion and it is a shared Notion with other people, they limit you to 10, I think it's like 10,000 blocks, something like that. Can we see, do they have a pricing thing somewhere? I'm not adding, I'm not inviting. Notion pricing. Invite 10 guests, but if you invite 10 guests, what do you get? That's the thing. You invite 10 guests, you're limited. Row limit. Where's the block limit? They say there's a block limit. I don't know. There's a block limit. It's like 1,000, 10,000, something, whatever it is. I don't want that limit. The limit means each one of these lines, each one of these little lines here, that's a block. That's a block. The one bullet point is one block. Oh, maybe that's 2 blocks because this one's a sub. No, that's its own separate block. We would hit that capacity so fast. If we're building a knowledge base, we'd be done. And then you know what I'd have to do? Pay a monthly membership. We don't make monthly membership for Notion types of money just yet doing the stream. So what I'm doing is making this a private Notion that gives me unlimited blocks. Then you all just tell me what you'd like to see added to it using the Envy part of Discord. That's a feeder. So Envy on Discord feeds. You say, hey, I found this really cool study. Hey, I'd like us to watch this video on stream. Hey, I'd like to add this recipe. Hey, I found some supporting documentation for this point we had made the other day. Then I, the sole moderator in all of my free time, I don't think it'll be that bad right now. Eventually, maybe we'll pay for Notion and other people will do this job. But for right now, I think I can handle it. I will add your Envy Discord posts into this, and we will build this bit by bit at a time. That is what we are going to do. Yeah, that is what we're going to do. So that's my plan, at least for now, until one day Notion subscription prices work. I don't understand shit, but I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. You've got a lot of gumption. I appreciate you trying. It means a lot that you would be here just trying. Thank you. I don't even have a type. If I started looking at fellas' incomes as a prerequisite, my life would have been so much more boring, right? Imagine the dating life you have with the standards you have in your life right now. And then just say, I want to add a really complex and hard to manage standard. In the US, really hard to manage would be income. That'd be really crazy. Imagine you say, I need somebody to earn more than this amount. Suddenly your dating pool shrinks by a lot. And the thing of it is that if you're in a dating pool where your competition is other people who also want someone with lots of money, it gets really fiercely small pool and big competitive. Then you're fighting other people for the same few people, for the same few dating prospects. It just sounds painful. Too much. It's too much. I don't want to do it. That's all I have to say about the topic right now. Again, I don't personally feel like I have enough gumption, especially at this hour, to deep dive, pull apart each one of these separate countries and talk about the merits and try to make a best of list and all of that. But what I did want to do is I was recently, thanks to Simbatha, gifted a very fun looking game that I wanted to try to pop open at the very end of the stream. Just sort of a single player thing and wanted to take a peek at and see how it do. So I was going to pop into Balatro. But this topic is not closed. So if you had anything to add, any points you'd like to make, additions, further rabbit holes you'd like to go into, I'm still in research mode. I'm still down to discuss those points with you. I just also in my last hour of streaming feel like I wanted to wind down and experience something I haven't experienced before. A brand new game that was given as a gift. So let's see how this do. Well, it looks really retro. The graphics have a very old-timey 90s arcade screen kind of feel. Oh, yeah. Really old school kind of feeling to them. I also feel like I don't have the volume coming out of the right place because it's a new game. So I wanted this to go to game. Then what? Do I have to quit and start the game over again to make that happen? Can we hit? Where's my cursor? Why would you do that? The game takes away your cursor. Forgot about this? I didn't. I've been thinking about this ever since it was gifted to me. Like, oh, cool. Thanks for the new game. How am I gonna... When am I gonna... How are we gonna start streaming this? I want to try this out. Simbatha said I would really enjoy it, so... There we go. Now it's on the right track. Oh, yeah. My cursor is gone. I can click and move stuff around, but I can't see where I'm actually pointing. Options? Settings? I don't know anything about this game, so I think we're just gonna leave it for now. Graphics. Oh, it says CRT and CRT Bloom. Can we turn CRT Bloom on? Oh yeah, it gives it like a little extra ancient vibe to it. It would be really lovely to be able to see where I'm pointing though. Play. I like how I jump into a game I literally have no idea how to play in the hopes that the game will actually tell me how to do this. Hello there. My name is Jimbo. Oh, you can't see anything, can you? The game's not actually... Once it went full screen, it stopped presenting itself. as a game. Oh, that's not great. Can we do... Let me see if I can add it as a source. Game capture. Because I can see it now, but that's in windowed mode. Oh, maybe I just change it to windowed mode. Hang on. Can I do that? Damn, every time I click on this now, it's going to do it. Hang on. Settings. Video. Display monitor. Window mode. Oh, window mode. Windowed. And then apply. Oh my god, let's hope that actually fixes it. Yes! Okay. That's so much better. Then can I make the window maximize? It's not going to kill anything? Oh, okay. I can actually see my cursor now. This game was actually absolutely killing it for me. The default method for the display was not going to work with streaming at all. All right. Hello there. My name is Jimbo. I'm here to help you learn how to play. Thanks, Jimbo the Joker. This feels slimy. Feels like a slimy casino machine. Your goal is to earn chips to defeat the enemy blind. Okay. There is a small... This here is a small blind. You only need to score 300 chips to beat it. I don't know. 300 sounds like a lot of chips, yo. How many chips do I start with? Select the small blind to start the round. Okay. I like how these guys talk like Banjo-Kazooie. Absolutely like an old Rare game. You earn chips by playing poker hands. Oh, I know poker hands. Each poker hand earns a base amount of chips multiplied by some multiplier. See your poker hands in the run info area. Oh, that just shows me, in case I don't know what a poker hand is, about your current run. Oh, this will tell me what I have on hand. 0 of everything, apparently. I've got no hands. No good hands right now. Okay. Cards also earn you some chips. Hover over to see. King of Spades, Queen of... Okay. So, looks like face cards are all 10 chips. And numbers are all the amount of the number. Easy enough. Now select up to 5 cards to play and press play hand. Well, there's a pair. Does a pair even count? A pair does count. Oh, does it have to be 10 or higher? No, the 10 is something different. 2 cards that share the same rank, they may be played with up to 3 other unscored cards. Okay. You also get 3 of a kind, flush, full house. Also high card. So I probably want to do high card. And the 9s. And I don't know. Up to 5 cards. What if we only play 3? We get the pair. We got a multiplier. We got 56 chips. You can also discard up to 5 selected cards to try and make even stronger hands. Try it. Okay, we'll discard all of these lame cards down here. Screw them. They're not going to help me out anyway. Discards did a minus. Careful, you only have a limited number of hands and discards per round. Oh, 3 more hands, 3 more discards, looks like. Earn 300 chips before you run out of hands to win this round. That seems easy enough. That seems plenty easy. We got 2 pair. Right there. Oh, wait. Full house. Boom. Easy. We win. That's probably getting me plenty of points, right? Maybe not all the points I need, but plenty. Play it. Booyah. Oh, I love that chip sound. That's very rewarding for anybody who's spent time in the casino. Boom, we got that small blind. Done. Easy peasy. And they cashed me out $5 whole. Why do I have dollars? I thought we were playing with chips. Okay, well I got $9 now. Now that you're flush with cash, whole $9, burning a hole in my wallet. Hell yeah. You can buy some new cards from the shop. Buy new cards. I thought we were just playing cards, like regular cards. Try buying this handsome devil, the Joker. I guess. He gives me a +4 multiplier. Sure. We'll buy you. This is one of the 150 Jokers you can add to your run. Jeez, what the heck? Every Joker does something different. This is not a regular card game. This sounds wacky. Absolutely insane. This one adds +4 mult to every hand you play. Be picky, you can only carry 5 Joker cards at a time. Oh, are they like buffs? I feel like they're like buffs. This feels like a weird RPG, but using cards and a casino as the way to play. Yeah? Am I? Well, don't tell me if I'm right about this. I want to be surprised along the way. Now buy the other card from the shop. This is not a playing card. This is a tarot card. You all know what tarot cards are, right? What the heck? How am I supposed to buy this? It's not discovered. Oh, because I just haven't gotten it before. This enhances 2 selected cards into multiple cards. Sure. Yeah, this game got really wacky now that it has tarot cards in the mix. This tarot card is a consumable. This one will enhance your playing cards. Hold on to it. So I have buffs and then I have consumables. This is an RPG. This is absolutely an RPG. You can carry up to 2 consumable cards with you at all times. So 2 consumables, 5 buffs. Gotcha. If you save up enough, you can buy a voucher. Vouchers passively upgrade your run. Oh my. Well, kids, I must be off. Nico, it's been a pleasure. Hey, Nico, DM me, because I sent you a text yesterday. So hit me up in a DM real fast, if you can. I mean, I'd appreciate it if you could. But sleep well. Be well. Old man. Noms acquired. What are we eating? All right. So that capacity, I can't afford that right now. Vouchers are restocked after you defeat the boss blind. What does restocked mean? Oh, you can only buy so many. Check out both of the booster packs in every shop. They're full of goodies. There's a buffoon pack. Choose one of up to 2 Joker cards, or a standard pack, one of up to 3 playing cards to add to your deck. What? Why do we add more playing cards here? I have a regular 52 deck. What is this game doing? It's for my own good that I do not share. It's real sad. Fair enough. Keep your secrets. My treadmill turned off again. Won't you turn back on for me? This treadmill, every time I start it up, it starts at the wrong speed. So I also have to increase the speed. Okay, booster packs full of goodies. Got it. Let's move on to the next round. Yay, more gameplay. That was a whole lot of tutorial for a game that I'm very confused about exactly what we're doing. The treadmill fears your maximum gains. Oh, I know. This 1 mile an hour walking is making me so buff, you guys. You know why I'm doing the 1 mile an hour walking, right? I have let my health take such a back burner to my mental health has affected my physical health so much that even 1 mile an hour walking is significantly better for me than what I've been doing, and I think is a move towards a better 2025D. It's not like a Kumu's Peloton, but it's something for now. All right, selecting the big blind will earn some cash. Then let's select it. Or choose to skip it to get a tag. What's the tag for? Each tag has a unique benefit. I don't know. Or a unique effect. But keep an eye on the boss blind. It has an ability you'll need to plan around. The boss blind, called the hook, discards 2 random cards per hand played. Damn. That sounds brutal. Okay. If you beat it, then the ante goes up and all the blinds become harder. Okay. Beat ante 8 to win. Now choose your path. I don't know what to do. If we skip this blind, we get the garbage tag. Gives $1 per unused discard this run. We'll give $3. I'm okay. Let's just select. Let's get that big blind up there. 450. Let's go. I'm gonna kill this big blind. When you get more cards, remember you can rearrange them. Jokers trigger in order from left to right. Oh, they do? Okay. Next. Make sure that you use your consumables. I promise. Select up to 2 cards in your hand and press use on the tarot card to enhance them. Will do. Up to 2? Okay. I will do that right now because the game's making me do it. Select. And use. Boom. Multiply those cards. Oh, they have stuff all over them. Oh, weird. The Empress marked our cards. They've got weird scribblies across them now. Okay, well, these are ready to play. Let's play those. And we also got another pair over here. That's going to be a 2 pair. That's going to be a 2 pair. And we'll also just get rid of the 2 in that. No, we'll get rid of the 7. Get rid of the 7 because we can also do discards to get rid of these lower cards. And that just gives a modifier no matter what. Plus modifier. All right, play that hand. Big multiplier. Yeah, +4s everywhere. And a +4 there. Nice. 644. Did we get it in 1 round? Wow. Fuck this big blind in particular. We just destroyed it. And we got to cash out of $7. I'd say that was worthwhile not playing that little skip thing. Well, cash it out. And we got dollars for the remaining hands too. It feels a bit slow. I believe you can increase game speed up to 4 times. It's okay for now. We're talking through it. We're enjoying sort of like the vibe of the base game. I think once I start getting into the flow and I've learned everything I need to learn, I will probably increase the speed. Yeah. Okay, shop to improve your run. Do we want cards now? Do we want to get a pack? 1 of up to 5 tarot cards to be used immediately. Yeah, I don't know about immediate. We can get a voucher. Permanently gain +1 hand per round. That's actually pretty nice. Or we can start to get these. Converts up to 3 selected cards to hearts. Pretty badass. Level up 2 pair +1 molt and +20 chips. That doesn't sound as interesting. This one sounds pretty badass. But we're not going to be able to buy the voucher if we get it. Let's get this one. I like that card. And then we still have $8, so we could also buy something else. Let's see about this jumbo. I kind of like the idea of picking something where you have no idea what you're getting. That gambling aspect. Hey, what's going on? Welcome, Tika. If you speak English, you're in the right place. If you don't speak English, you could try. And I have Google Translate up, and I will try to work with you. As we learned earlier with Cookish, who was able to parse out some of what I was talking about. All right, let's try to pick this one out and see how we do. Boom. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Okay, we have to choose one. And we have to choose one. We have to use it immediately. Oh my gosh. Creates a random Joker card. Enhances 1 selected card into a steel card, which does a 1.5 multiplier. Converts up to 3 selected cards to spades. This is a bad time for spades. Sorry. Select 2 cards, convert the left card into the right card. That could give us... Oh, that could actually give us a full house, like immediately. Or convert up to 3 selected cards to clubs. That's not going to be enough. Let's do this one. Let's do the death card. Go. Do it. Select 2 cards, come to the left and to the right. We'll do it with these 2. Yeah. Can we rearrange these? Yeah. Let's do it that way. Left and to the right. Use it. Use it. Me Russian. All good. Someday I will learn literally any Russian besides the stupid things I know how to say, and then we'll chat. Okay. So that's at the top of my deck now, just hanging out with me that way. All right, we don't have enough money to do anything else, so next round it is. Let's go. Oh, we're already at the boss? That's it? Boom, boom, and then boss? I thought we had more like practice rounds to do before we just go fight a boss. Damn, okay. Boss time. These backgrounds, they look like Mother, right? They got the weird, just psychedelic, twisting, messing with my brain background. Little know you can use the cards in the consumable spot in any menu where it draws cards from your deck. Interesting. Boy, please, China. Oh, 你想我说中文吗？你也可以，你也会不会说中文？ Okay, let's see. Can we do... So the sun converts up to 3 selected cards to hearts. Oh, we could get... Do... That wouldn't change anything. We don't want to use that one right now. But what we do want is... Hey, I thought I converted the 9 to a king. So we don't actually have... Oh, was that just... Did that not play... Did that not work for the top cards we were messing with right now? Huh. Discards 2 random cards per hand played. Discards 2 from the ones that I haven't... From what I play? Or from my below? Random cards per hand played. I think it discards from below me. Maybe. From below. Okay. Oh, this is gonna sting then. Let's do... Oh, we have to click to play them. Click, click. And we'll play this just because it's got multiplier and we don't want to lose it. I guess we could just do that. We don't want to lose the higher cards. But we also... Yeah, we don't want to lose them because they'll end up getting lost. This at least gives us the points for those cards. Right? Or maybe they don't give you any points if they're not part of the actual hand, the poker hand. Maybe that was a waste. Damn it. Okay. So we have just another pair. We're not going to beat this. We're not going to beat this. Let's play it. At least we're getting multipliers on this stuff. It's still only 240. We still have 2 more hands left. We do have discards we could be using. Well, this is a 2 pair. Grant us something. We don't need to do hearts conversion yet. Or should we do hearts conversion? We should do hearts conversion. 3 selected cards to hearts. We need to do that now. We need to do that now. Hang on, I can translate that. Once you use Cyrillic, I can actually translate what you got saying. You'll be wiped off the earth. I'm not the person you think I am. Soon? We might all be. Okay, if we were to do... I guess if it's going to be a flush, we want to get rid of lower cards then, because the higher level flush isn't going to matter. Or do the points matter? So maybe we want the higher level cards to be... Because their amount of chips should affect up to 3 selected cards to hearts. I don't know that we need this one to be a heart. Ah, let's just do it. Let's just do it anyways. Convert. Convert. How do I hit use? Oh, there we go. Use it. Booyah. Oh, it's not gonna go. Give me hearts. Oh, that's good. This is gonna change things around dramatically. Does this beat? Is this gonna win? Maybe. Oh, that's good. Plus the modifier. We destroyed that boss. That was amazing. And we only get $6 for that. It felt like such a powerful victory, and it was like, womp womp. Here's what you actually win as a result. Damn. Oh, you speak some English too. Yes, I'm definitely a noob at this. 100%. Cash out. Guess it's the only other option I got. Okay, so we have a total of $8 now. We could either get a playing card to add to the deck, a playing card to add to the deck. This Joker gains 1+ multiplier per consecutive hand played without scoring a face card. That's like betting for failure, which I'm not really that keen on. And then this Joker gains 0.25 multiplier for each card sold. I don't want to sell cards. At least, oh, I can't afford this one anyways. We can't afford the voucher yet either. Let's try getting a standard pack and see what these do. It doesn't cost that much. We can save up for something for next round too. Let's just see what this does for you. It just chooses a card. 6 of spades. Wait, why is this one gold? Plus 6 chips, but $3 if this card is held in hand at the end of the round. I mean, that's kind of cool. If it comes up. And then this one's a bonus card. Gives 30 extra chips. Oh, we're down. We're down for that. Help us win faster. At least at this phase of the game. Let's do this. Betting in my poker game? How dare I, right? I'm being a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Pushing a, I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. Honestly, I'm so streamer brained right this moment. Pushing my luck. I have 0 luck when it comes to actual gambling, so for me to do this with literally like no real money, I will do it. I will do this. Don't make me bet anything with actual real money. How smart we are. You and me both. Are you a big brain sort of person? Because if you are, you're in the right place. Yeah, I'm pushing my luck. All right, let's try. If we skip this one, is it that you skip the option to make earnings, but if you do, you get some kind of cool thing? Upgrade flush by 3 levels? That's assuming I will actually get a flush, which I could, because I have that one tarot card. Oh, but it got played, so I consumed it, so I don't have it anymore. Yeah, we're just gonna skip it. We likes to brainy Smurfs. That's why we're here, 100%. Big brain crew up in the house. Playing gambling. No, it's not gambling. As far as I understand it, this is supposed to be, from what Sambatha's explanation of the game is, really more of like a roguelike that just happens to use cards and much less gacha, much less gamble. Obviously, all the money's fake. It's really kind of like a progression and RPG, and you lose and come back stronger over time, and you build yourself up over time kind of game. Yeah. Yup. Smoke type go. You definitely got them around here too. I don't partake. I don't think it sits well with me, but we have them in the audience for sure. Flushes are semi-consistent from my experience. I mean, the fact that you're holding 8 cards at a time, I could see that being the case. I could see it, for sure. Yeah. I don't know how to say this right. Vipsomine? Is that right? Vipsomine? I don't know what that is. All right. So we definitely got 3 of a kind. That's all we got right now. Might as well play it. God, that multiplier. That is so good. That earns you so many chips so fast. All right, now I really don't have a lot going on here, but I could do some trashing of some of these. Let's discard. We do not do enough discarding yet. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we've already got our... We don't have to do anything with the pairs now. We've got a flush. See? We did get flush after all. Lame. I could have played that flush upgrade card. Beer. Plus multiplier. Damn, decimated. In what, 2 hands? I feel like I'm doing so good at this game. I can't wait for the game to like absolutely school me. It feels like it's going exponentially harder, and I will absolutely hit that wall all too fast. But at least for now, it feels like I'm making some sort of progress. Give me the shop. What do we got? Another Joker, plus 12 mult if played hand contains a straight. I haven't seen a lot of straights yet. Plus 5 hand size reduces by 1 every round. That actually sounds kind of fun. Permanently gain plus 1 discard. We still don't have enough for a voucher. Let's get this Joker. That could be kind of fun. Gives me more options to play around with. All right. Maybe next time we'll save up for one of those permanent buffs, because I feel like that's where the game started to unlock. Once you have those vouchers, that's where you start to actually build up. So if we skip this one, you get a Mega Arcana pack. Choose 2 of up to 5 tarot cards to be used immediately, and it would give us. It doesn't look like this boss is incredibly crazy. We'll just go on with this actual round. Okay, so we have a straight. Now that I said, oh, I don't really run into straights. Wait, is this Jack just like permanently scarred or affected by the tarot card? I thought you played the tarot card and it was done. But this Jack still has the weird markings. It still has the plus 4 multiplier. I'm really confused. Do tarot cards permanently scar your cards? The way I break it down is tarot cards are always good. Okay. I may have to consider that. Well, for now, I can at least play some of these. That gives me a straight and gives me the extra multiplier. They are permanent upgrades, the tarot card buffs? What the fuck? I had no idea. I thought they were consumables, you know. You drink a potion in Final Fantasy, it runs out after 30 seconds. That's okay. Maybe I do need to invest more in tarot cards after all. All right, let's play this. Big fat money. Give me all those chippies. Beautiful. One more hand and we'll be done with this one. Oh, also the ace with the extra chips is already here. If I play it but it's not in the hand, I don't get the actual count for the card though, do I? Everything in this game is kind of the permanency of it. Interesting. Interesting. So I have the option for 2 different full houses. It's pretty cool, but none of them I could do with the ace, so that part sucks. Assume it is unless it says otherwise. Gotcha. All right, well, we got this. This should probably finish out the round. Boom. Destroyed. Give me my money. Oh, I still don't have enough for one of those vouchers. Damn. I'm falling just short. This one would give me, oh, just +1 discard. That's probably okay that I didn't get it. 2 jokers are the option. Or I could choose up to 2 of 4 spectral cards. What the heck is a spectral card? Do I want that? Choose 1 of up to 5 tarot cards. 2 spectral or 1 tarot. Or 2 chips for each remaining card in the deck. Dude, that's a lot of chips. That's a lot of chips. Or gains +3 multiplier when any booster pack is skipped. I don't think that's good for me just yet. The spectral cards are basically cracked out arcanes with a downside. Most of the time. That sounds kind of fun. Let's screw with that. I like cursed options. Yeah, we're gonna play around with what we got there. Give me curses. I live for the curse. Destroy 1 random card in your hand. Add 2 random enhanced aces. Add foil, holographic, or polychrome effects to 1 selected card. Interesting. Add polychrome to a random joker, but it destroys all the other jokers. That could kind of be fun. What's polychrome do, though? +1.5 molt? That sounds great. To a joker, and I'd only lose 1 joker. That might be worthwhile. Converts all cards in hand to a single random rank. -1 hand size. Oh, it's times 1.5. So this would go up to 6. 6? 1.5. Yeah, 6, right? Is that worth it? Losing my other joker? It's only 1 joker. I get to choose 2 of these. I like this. I like getting the 2 enhanced aces, but I also like getting the selected. Let's make this ace. Let's make this ace fun. For starters. All right, what do you do now? Oh, +50 chips. That's good. Polychrome goes nuts once you get more jokers. Okay. Let's play with that. Oh, it's to a random joker? I don't get to choose which one? Shit. Fuck it, let's go. Let's do it anyway. Hopefully it gets that. Oh, it destroyed the one I liked better. That's okay. That's okay. All right, we're basically out of money. Let's beat this boss. You could have sold the bean. Oh, and it would have only affected the 1 card? Damn, I didn't even think about that. Or I guess I didn't know you could just sell your cards in that screen. Wait. Blocks? Oh, because he blocks out all diamond cards. That's what... I was wondering... I thought diamond meant a modifier for some stupid reason. Obviously, they meant diamond the suit. Because I was looking at like steel and polychrome and all these sort of things. I was thinking, what's a diamond? What does diamond status mean? Dumbass. It means the actual suit. Okay. Got to manipulate odds. Welcome to gambling. Hell yeah. I'm for it. I'm for it. Okay. So what we can do, we've got 2 pair. For now, we've got 2 pair. 2 queens of hearts. How did that happen? We're cheating already. Or we've already got a flush. Because we have two hearts there. Yeah, we've already got a flush there. Shoot, let's do that. How much is that going to give me? We got the +1 point or times 1.5 multiplier. Amazing. Beautiful. 426. I think we could beat this guy. I think we have a chance. Can we just discard these cards if they're not going to do anything for us? Should get rid of some of these lower cards too. Probably. Oh, we can only discard 5 at a time. That's fine. There we go. Okay, so now we can do a full house then too. With our special aces, that's going to completely decimate this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Aces and nines. Give me those fat extra. Oh my god. Plus the times 6 multiplier. Damn. We got a lot closer to beating this guy than I ever expected to get that fast. That close to the round. We've got plenty of discards. We might as well get rid of these. We can still get rid of more. We'll leave the hearts. Let's discard those. Give me some other fat, juicy, delicious cards. We got the special multiplier Jack 2. So we might as well play that. And the 8s. Yeah. Will this tip me over the edge? This might. +4 multiplier. Then the Joker. Wow. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. The debuffed cards can be used to reach straights and full house, by the way. They just won't contribute. Oh, so you don't get a score for playing them, but they'll still add up in making the hand. Neat. I can appreciate that. I'm okay with the way we played it, but that's good to know. And a whole whopping $6 for beating the boss. It's just like you always get $6. Or I guess if you could get extra modifiers tossed in if you win in special bigly ways. Good stuff. Wahoo, $6. Yeah, I know. Feels kind of like I'm at the beginning of a game. Well, I can buy a pack, 2 spectral cards, a planet card. They have all sorts of weird cards here. Oh man, tarot cards appear 2 times more frequently in the shop. It'd be nice to be able to afford that. More spectral? You want to see me mess with the spectral again? Could do that. If the first hand of the round is a single 6, destroy it and create a spectral card, but you must have room. First hand of the card has only 1 card. First hand of the round has only 1 card. Add a permanent copy to the deck and draw it to the hand. Weird. That's some weird stuff. It's like replicating. That's why it has DNA. All right, we'll play with spectral. Objectively, the coolest packs. These are fun. Yeah. We can only choose 1. Okay, converts all cards in hand to a single random suit. Different. So I'd have much more of one particular suit. It's kind of cool. Or add a purple seal to 1 selected card in your hand. I don't know what purple seal is, but I think that's going to be the winning thing. Let's give a seal to one of these. Seal me. Okay, what did that do? Hey. What did that do? Let me find that seal. Purple seal creates a tarot card when discarded. Well, that's a win. That's just a win. That's amazing. I just have to discard that card every time I see it. I'm going to do that. Getting me a random tarot card all the time. All right. Right. We're out of time. So if you have enjoyed tonight's discourse, which was, a little bit Balatro, but the majority of it just, talking through critical thinking ideas. We spent so much time just chatting on some of the particulars and nuances. We didn't even finish fulfilling an entire, we didn't do an S tier through all the other tiers sort of list of countries or get into the particulars, but just flexing those muscles, getting in that sort of direction. I foresee that in future discourses, as we sort of start to build a muscle memory, I get faster at sort of doing the live Notion stuff. We pull up articles together. We're looking at studies. We're getting information down. I could see this going faster. I could see us getting more information down. And every bit that we build in, including whatever you guys add to Envy when I'm not streaming, that's going to that I will add to this stuff off stream so that the next time we all have a chance to look, we can. I think also what I need to do, because I don't think I've done this before yet, or I haven't done this yet, is make this link live so you all can access the knowledge base. And I will put this in the Envy channel in Discord, so you have a place to find it and to, communicate through this, help me build this, make a huge, second mind for all of us, essentially. I think that would be absolutely badass, and I hope you guys agree. That'll sort of be what I want to do with Wednesdays going forward. And also on my other stream nights, or even on my off times, if there's just stuff you'd like to add or go into, like, I'm happy to stop playing a game and do a deep dive and connect with you on that level and like get to some truths about the issue, you know? Again, not necessarily finding a best answer, but just learning and growing and developing out this thing that can be used so your brain doesn't have to hold all this kind of stuff, that you have a resource where you can grab this kind of information and use it as, like, you know, your personal perk for being here and being part of my community. I wanted to do something that expands and benefits and feeds into all of us just for you being here with me. My way of paying back into you, more than just the emoji that we bought over the last few months. That's fun too, but I want to go bigger. So that's what we're doing here. Appreciate your faces. All right. Having it be accessible would be crucial. Oh yeah. Otherwise, why are we doing this? Okay. If you've been watching on Trovo, Kick, or YouTube, I think that's it. We are saying goodnight to you right now. And Twitch folk, hang on, because we're going to find somebody to raid out to. For everybody else who's disappearing right this moment, if you are safe, fed, and loved, make sure someone out there is too, please. We'll see you in the next one. See ya.